Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up! Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, beautiful! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
What's up, everybody? How you doing on a Tuesday? Good to be with you today for the next 3 hours. And I'm just glad to be sitting down and not have an earworm that's just been killing me for the entire however long the day's been. It was 11 hours since we turned from Monday to Tuesday. Matt Jones, you know what an earworm is, right?
I do not.
It's a song that you can't get out of your head. I mean, this happens to us all the time. It's that soundtrack in your mind where you just have this, a song that you might have heard that you've heard a bunch of times before, but something like keyed something in your brain.
So there's
where you just hear it over and over and over and over again.
Like this
I got that going on right now.
That plays all the time.
I
hear that in the middle of the night.
Can't stand you. Yeah.
No. Right now, this has not been an earworm of mine, maybe for a long, long time. So yesterday was first day of basketball season. The men were, of course, at home, where we've got a lot to get to as far as that's concerned with the game, and of course, a guy who wasn't on the court, and wondering when we're going to see Nick Smith Jr. I'm sure Eric Musselman will be. Well, I may be asked about it. I don't know about asked about it, but I'm assuming he'll address it at Eric Musselman Live tonight, which we will be airing here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Doesn't sound like, from what Muss said post-game yesterday, that we'll see Nick on Friday in the night game at Bud Walton Arena. But I was with the women's team in Pine Bluff yesterday. That was an experience. Let me put it to you succinctly and quickly. The atmosphere inside the small arena on campus at UAPB was unique, to say the least. And the reason that I've got a song that's stuck in my head, it is a classic R&B hit from the 1980s called "Da Butt." You know this one, "Doing the Butt"? They played it last night for an entire timeout, and the crowd was dancing to it. They literally were doing the butt in the stands. And I don't think I've heard that song, and certainly not seen fans doing the dance in the stands.
Was the song and dance better than the game?
The game was interesting, for certain. No, the game was fun. The game is always going to be the thing. But I will say, last night, the atmosphere and everything going on in the stands, where they were packed. I mean, I don't know how many people can fit into Clemens Arena, but I think they were like 85% full. And the band, the marching, what do they call the band of UAPB? It's 4M. They call it the 4M. Marching something of the Mid-South. And they're 18 tubas. The sound inside that arena last night was unlike a sound that I've ever heard at a basketball game before, and probably won't ever again. The band wasn't playing the butt, but they did dance it when the song came over the PA system. So I've got that stuck in my head today. I need some help from you guys to, give me a new earworm or something.
I like it. So I played. Quinn Gray played at Florida A&M and he played at Jacksonville, and he said the fans would come there for the halftime show more than they would come there to watch him play football. Yeah.
Well, that's what I remember. That's when Arkansas played UAPB in Little Rock last year, football. It's like, all right, well, you got a football game, but don't miss the halftime show, because that's the thing. And the halftime show turned out to be a lot more entertaining than the game itself. I mean, we had the clock rolling for the entire second half, and the Hogs had the second and third teamers out there last year. So I remembered that going into Clemens Arena, where it was a game for about a quarter, and then Nabes' team pulled away with a 14-0 run in the second quarter and kind of ran away with it. But I'll say, They did the wave too. They did the wave in. I've never seen the wave in a basketball arena.
I like
it.
They
did the
getting
wave
down, man. They're getting down
in a basketball arena. Matt, they were down 25 points. The crowd was still there in the fourth quarter, and they were entertaining themselves doing the wave. I was blown away by it. And I'm not a fan of the wave. I hate the wave at baseball parks. At a basketball arena where I'm right there on the floor, it's like, wow.
Did you join in? Get one, just like one wave? Just one arm, maybe?
No, you know what? I consider now I'm beginning to consider that a lost opportunity to be able to
might not
broadcast
happen
a game
again. Yeah.
and do the wave at the same time. Well, I know. You think about Bud Walton Arena, man. You're getting 19,200 people inside Bud Walton Arena. When is the last time that a Razorback crowd did the wave at a basketball game?
I could. They do the Woo Pig Suey. You know, that's our wave, right?
That's right.
I don't know if.
It's not a basketball thing. I mean, I've seen it at football games and baseball parks. I've seen
baseball.
It at the College
I think
World
baseball
Series.
parks. Phil, I remember going with my grandpa to a St. Louis Cardinals game when I was 6, 7 years old. Vince Coleman stole home. You know, the Ryan Sandberg and Sean Dunston. It was cool. But one of the things I remember is doing the wave. That was just one of the first baseball memories.
Not doing the butt? No, I was doing the wave. And so I remember the same thing at Three Rivers at Pirates games, and it got to the point where my father would be like, down in front, down in front, down in front. So that's what kind of where I came across, because I had a man sitting next to me who would refuse to stand up and do the way. Here I was, the 7, 8-year-old, like, this is fun. And Dad is like, I'm here to watch the game. Down in front. Wow. So, the game felt secondary to the atmosphere in the stands last night. I don't know what it felt like inside Bud Walton Arena because I didn't get a chance to watch the men's game. I listened to the last 5 or 6 minutes on the drive back from Pine Bluff and heard the post-game show and Muss's interview. And I mean, really, the story is who didn't play. I think yesterday, we even got into a little bit yesterday, Matt. Remember about, first, consensus lottery picks that are going to be one-and-dones in college basketball, and how plenty of them have succeeded, but there's been other situations where you've barely even seen that player play. And I hated even bringing Michael Porter Jr. up and connecting that to Nick Smith because of Porter's injury and the fact, what did he play?
Kyrie Irving's
game or two?
Kyrie Irving's another guy at Duke that didn't play very, very much his 1 year.
Yeah, and I really hope that's not what's going on here, but it is a mystery. I mean, it just sounds like it's discomfort in the knee. I'm saying a minor injury, but not giving a hint as to when it happened, how it happened, or how long Nick could be out. And he played in the exhibition at Texas. He played in the red-white game. I know he had a little knee thing that happened in Spain, but as far as the last 2 times the team's been out there and we've known about it, he's played. So this is a brand new thing.
You don't see a lot of soccer players with knee braces, and you don't see a lot of basketball players with knee braces. So let's take care of it. You got to get that taken care of and get that healthy. That is, that's yes, sir. So whatever it takes, and however the flow of the season goes, you want to have your bullets ready when you got to go to battle.
Well, I mean, there's also this little thing called the NBA that's waiting for Nick Smith in like 8 or 9 months for the draft. And so
you got to take care of him though too, Phil. Like you can't have him out there. It'd be that just set a bad example. I think was it Zion when he blew out the Nike sneaker when Barack came to watch him play, and then it was kind of like, we can't get this kid hurt. You don't want to get that kid hurt. Yeah.
No, you don't. And you don't need him right now. There's no reason at all. And probably I don't think there is ever going to be a reason to rush him to the court, considering what could be in his future. But it's not the way that I think anybody expected the season to start. Not the fact that you won the game. That was expected and played well against a good North Dakota State team, defended really well, and it's cool to see Trevin Brazile go double-double off the bench in his Arkansas debut. But the game on the court, it isn't going to be the story, or it isn't going to be like top of mind for everybody. It's going to be the guy that's supposed to be the top scorer and one of the main reasons to come watch this team this year not being available, and we don't really know how long it'll be.
Yeah, number 1 and number 4, Phil. Those are the guards. Davis and Council the fourth. They looked good, and then Anthony Black. He pressed a little bit. but he's so fluid and smooth, man. He's a basketball player. He's somebody you want out there. You could tell he's a little anxious probably, but just 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and he just kind of he's going to get better. I like what Mitchell. He looked really tough. He was fun. But number 1 and number 4, man, that was it. And then Brazil. Think about this, Phil. And I don't know how. I know you played a little basketball, but think about these guards nowadays when they're playing and they don't have to worry about the stretch 4, I guess, and some of the guards, but they don't have to worry about their shot getting blocked. It's just you're freed up if you know at any time you can get your shot off. Man, you can do so much thing. That's the thing Brazil can do. His length, that how he is, and so he's only going to get better. But you just start playing with a little bit of confidence when you know when you're within 15 to 17 feet and you can get your jumper off every time. Man, it opens up the whole game for you.
21 points, 12 rebounds for Trevin Brazil. Drew 5 fouls and was plus 12 in 32 minutes off the bench. He didn't start. Kamani started and was out of the game in a little less than 9.5 minutes. But Brazil hit 3 of Arkansas's 4 3-pointers. 3-point shooting is going to be, one of the things that I think we look at as one thing that you're probably going to want to see improved all year long. And the main 3-point threat is supposed to be Nick Smith Jr. But I think potentially the second 3-point threat right now, Matt, is Trevin Brazil. And for 6'10", 6'11" to shoot from that far out and to be able to play in the paint too. This is a really interesting basketball player.
I don't know if we want him shooting all those threes, but it does open it up. But I like our guards like Council. He's not looking. He will shoot the 3, but he wants to. I like his style, kind of those Big East point guards that you had. 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago that they're just kind of grimy. They get in there. They do a little bit of everything and mid-range games, passes the ball well, steals. I mean, he's not looking to just necessarily shoot threes. But, yeah, as a good mix-up and also, Phil, is like Coach has said, that the three-pointer is going to be the icing. We're going to do everything else good, and that three-pointer is going to be a bonus when it's falling in.
Yeah, that's not the thing that Arkansas hangs their hat on. It's getting to the rim. It is right. Getting to the rim. And I think not making threes, but defending the 3 and really overall defense, I think, will be something this team hangs their hat on. Well, we've got a lot to hang our hat on today on Halftime. Chuck Barrett joins us in the next segment. We got him for about 30 minutes. Clay Henry in hour number 2 will join us for 2 hours. We'll get into some recruiting, some football recruiting with Danny West from Hog Sports at 1:15. Arkansas did get a defensive end commit, a big one, on Sunday, so it wasn't all bad news over the weekend, but it was, of course, not a great weekend for football. That is Arkansas. And your calls and texts. We have Name That Hog later on in hour number 2, presented by Alumni Hall. You can win a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall if you are listening in the second hour. So lots to get to. Let's take a break, and we're joined by the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, here on Halftime next. Step in my and if you said this life ain't good enough, I would give my world to lift you up. I could change my life to better suit your mood, because you're so smooth. You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
It's finally time. Game day on the hill. It's time to write our chapter in the history books. It's time for the hog walk. It's time for the hog calls. It's time for the roar of Razorbacks history.
Pass deflected, picked off, intercepted by Catalan. Touchdown, Arkansas!
It's time to show out for this proud damn state.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. Looking for a new ATV? Then you sure don't want to miss the 1+1 sale going on at Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland. Buy a new 2022 CF Moto during their 1+1 ATV sales event and receive a free 2-year warranty that includes a 1-year factory and 1-year CF Moto Care extended protection. See Auto Finders and Adventure Oklahoma in Roland or view a complete list of inventories online at AutoFindersOK.com, where your search ends and adventure begins. Offer does not include Gen 2 C-Force 400 and 500 models.
Would you like to cut your utility bills without cutting comfort? Stay cool and save while enjoying the reliability and efficiency of a new Luxair HVAC system. Have your contractor call J&B Supply to hook you up with a Luxair system perfectly suited for your home. Luxair provides optimal comfort, energy savings, and lasting performance. J&B Supply, where the professionals go for all their HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs since 1968. J&B Supply with locations in Fort Smith, Springdale, and Bentonville.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details. Or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Resetting your password, unsubscribing from emails, printing anything. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with an auto owner's insurance independent agent, getting the right coverage for your business doesn't have to be one of them, so you can get back to more important things, like learning how that printer works. That's simple human sense.
Visit the Charles Osborne Agency in Greenwood or call them at 996-2129.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We have the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, with us for the next couple of segments on this Tuesday morning. Chuck, it's always fun to talk to you. How you doing today?
Well, I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Great,
good,
man.
Chuck.
Razorbacks went 2-0 yesterday. Yeah, we're pretty happy about that. Looked like a pretty
I didn't realize they
game.
were playing at the same time until yesterday. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, well, they told us the women's game was supposed to start at 6 at UAPB. They didn't tip the game off until 6:18. So I was thinking I might be able to listen to you and Zim for the second half. I only caught the last 5 minutes or so in post game. So sounds like Trevin played a great game. Ricky Council too, but we can't help it. Part of the story is who didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good win. I mean, we saw some things that I think were good signs for what may come this year. I mean, Trevin Brazil's, I watched him at Mizzou, and he was okay, but not anything like he is now. And I was his first career double-double last night, and he's really adapted well to the way Arkansas plays, and that's an understatement. Council's got a lot more ball skills than I think some people perhaps realized. This is a guy that he's got a lot of old school to his game. I mean, he can take you off the dribble. He can pull up and hit a mid-range. I don't know how good he is beyond the arc, but he's got a good mid-range game. He can finish at the rim. I thought Mekhi Mitchell finished 3 or 4 times at the rim. I think this is going to be a good finishing team. They're going to go to the line a lot, but I think they're going to be a good finishing team around the rim.
This North Dakota State team, what should the fans take out of this Arkansas win? Is North Dakota State any good, or do we just take it, hey, we won the game, we got out healthy?
Well, there was a quickness disparity. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, they were not able to keep Arkansas from getting into the paint. I mean, Arkansas outscored them by 20 in the paint, and that's just, it's just off the dribble drive. And they weren't able to stop that. There will be teams, obviously, this year that are quick enough that I'm not saying Arkansas can't get past them and get to the rim, but I'm saying it's not going to be as easy as it was last night. So it was a season-opening game. You played without your best player. You were in control from start to finish. The thing that I thought was encouraging was, they didn't mess around at the start. They forced 4 early turnovers. Council got involved right away. They jumped out to a lead, and they were just in control from start to finish. So, I didn't think it was spectacular, but I didn't walk away thinking either that, hey, this is going to be a problem area. I didn't see that last night.
I didn't watch. I can look at the box score and know the idea of what this team is supposed to do. It looks like they defended well. I mean, they created turnovers. They scored off turnovers. North Dakota State, I think, is a decent three-point shooting team. They were 5 for 21. I think this team is going to defend the perimeter really well. And, it looks like they defended overall really well yesterday.
Yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, North Dakota State came out. I know they made 3 of their first 4 shots, and I think they made maybe 4 of their first 7. And then they just, they had 2 or 3 droughts where they did not score. And Arkansas really had control of the ball game. I mean, there were some points here and there where it could have been better. But for the most part, I thought they were, I thought they did exactly what you should do in a season-opening game.
Trevin said in the postgame that he was a role player at Mizzou. He didn't sound like a role player. He sounds like a star player.
Well, confidence is such a powerful thing, particularly with kids that age. And, when I watched him up at Mizzou, I'd heard about him because he's from Springfield, which is a couple hours from here. And, I knew of him, and I knew they were excited to get him. Evidently, the system that they were in last year, and look, you had a situation where a coach was about to be fired, and I think everybody knew it. And, it was just not a good situation, and probably a good situation to get out of, which is what he did. And he's obviously in a system now that fits his game, but you can tell he's confident. You can tell he's got a spring in his step. He knows he's a good player, and he's not going to be. Everybody's got a role, but his role is going to be to do a lot more things here than it was in Mizzou.
Yeah, I think he'll come back down to earth a little bit as far as with his play. And then I think another guy that didn't have a very good – if you look at the stat sheet, but Anthony Black I think is going to be a guy that's really going to be – I think he'll actually probably impact our team more than Brazil will. And it doesn't look like that if you just look at, the first game. But what Anthony Black can do out there is a little bit of everything as well.
Well, Black's going to do a lot of things that don't always show up in the box score. Now, I think he had, 7 rebounds last night? I don't have the box
3
right
assists, 3 steals, block. And that's what I mean. He's going to fill it up.
Yeah, he can give you some he didn't shoot well last night from the floor. His field goal percentage was not good, but he did help in other areas. I think the one thing that Black's going to be, and this is not going to always show up in the box score, but it's going to be hard even for good offenses with good point guards to get into their offense when he's that on-ball defender out front. This is a guy 6'7", with a huge wingspan. He's athletic, understands how to play the game, plays defense well. I think this is a guy that's going to have tremendous value on the defensive end. And, I think Walsh is going to be a similar type player. I don't know how big a scorer Walsh is going to be, but I think he's going to have a real impact on the defensive end.
Safe to say Jordan is an energy guy. I think he's incredibly talented from everything I've read, but defense, rebounding. Would you describe him as an energy sort of player?
Well, I think so. And the thing that I like about this team is I think they've got basketball smarts. I think these are kids that know how to play the game, and that's important. You've got to have basketball IQ because everybody's got good players, and you've got to understand how to play the game and got to understand how to play it together. And again, they did this last night without their best player, without Nick Smith. So, when he comes back, obviously they'll transition him back in. But when you're that good, he's going to step back out on the floor and be the man. So I was encouraged by what I saw. I think they've got a lot of good players.
I do too. I like how they're unselfish. I think you'll see 6-7 different players lead this team in scoring this year because they will. Now, like you say, Nick Smith's going to be the guy, but they are unselfish and they don't seem to care who scores. They just want to get the best shot.
Yeah, I always like to look at the assists and made baskets. You can probably share it a little better than they did last night. But, again, it's a season opening game, and you didn't have your best player out there. So, but I thought they did a lot of things well. On the defensive end, they were stifling. And they didn't give up a lot of offensive rebounds and stick backs. I will say this, that number 4 for North Dakota State, Nelson, he could play for a lot of teams in the SEC, ours included, maybe every single one of them. And I thought, him getting in foul trouble early on was a big factor in that game because if you watch the way he played in the second half, if he'd been out there for 36, 37 minutes, I'm not saying it would have been North Dakota State would have won the game, but it might have been a little bit closer.
We got to ask about the elephant in the room with Nick. And look, there's other teams that didn't have their top player, maybe 2 players. I saw Severe Wheeler and Sheba didn't play for Kentucky last night because of leg injuries too. And it's the first of maybe 36, 37 games. So what's your understanding of the situation with Nick? Because Muss was tight-lipped about it, and understandably so.
Yeah, he said on the pregame show last night they're just going to leave it in the hands of the trainers. And when they say he's ready to play, they'll play, or he will play. They're obviously going to, and they should. They should be precautionary with whatever the issue is. This is a guy that's got a full basketball life in front of him. And even fully healthy, he may not be here except 1 year. And obviously, you want to get the most out of him that you can. But this is also a guy that is going to be a lottery pick. If he doesn't play a minute this year, he'll be a lottery pick. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying that, he's a surefire lottery pick. And so, you want to be – gentle's not the right word, but you do want to take every precaution necessary because you've got his basketball future in your hands to an extent. And so it doesn't sound like, and based on watching him move around, walk around last night, it doesn't sound like this is going to be a forever thing, but – obviously, they're wanting to take precautions, and they should.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, with somebody just like you're saying, he's got a long future ahead of him. There's no reason to rush it. All right, we'll take a break. We'll open the phones. If you got a question or want to talk with Chuck, you can text it as well or call us 877-377-6963. We'll get into the football game with Liberty and talk with Chuck about this upcoming game with LSU as well in the next segment. I want to remind you, don't miss out on the sale going on at Cheap Sleep Mattresses and Furniture right now in Bentonville, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Conway. Get a load of the savings you can get here. Queen or king mattresses starting at $199. They got sofas and love seats, both for only $899. And a California King adjustable bed and mattress is only $899. The full name brand Queen and King mattresses are $449. You're saving up to 75% there. And a split King adjustable bed mattress is $1199. All those savings are going on right now at Cheap Sleep Mattresses and Furniture, Bentonville, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Conway. Shop local, shop Cheap Sleep, and you can find them on Facebook. We're back quickly.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Randall Ford's place to be if you're looking for the best of the best when it comes to a new car dealership. And got my buddy Tyler with me. And, you know, Tyler, if you're talking new trucks, Randall Ford has several to choose from.
Absolutely. We've got a couple of XLTs. We've got a Lariat in the back. We've got a brand new Ford Lightning available today.
Somebody's in the market wanting to look at that Lightning. That's pretty sweet, man.
Oh, it's the coolest, man. Huge screen. It's all electric. I mean, this thing will just flat out fly down the road. It is a good machine.
Somebody looking for a new Mustang. You also have a new Mustang in stock, and you have a Mach 1 in stock as well.
We do. We've got a Mach 1 out back. It's ready to go today, too. We also have a new Ford Maverick available today.
Yeah, the Ford Maverick is going to get tremendous fuel mileage and not cost you a lot of money.
That's right. It's a very payment-friendly truck, and the fuel mileage is just absolutely incredible.
There you go. Come by and ask for my buddy Tyler or one of the sales professionals today at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Evans Body Shop is a family and woman-owned business started in 2006 with strong ties to our community and owners that truly care about our customer satisfaction. EBS is also an iCar Gold Class certified, and our techs are trained on the most up-to-date repair processes and ready to work for you. We know you have a choice when it comes to choosing a body shop, and we are honored that our business has been built on repeat and referred customers. Call or come in today to see why people say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck Barrett, also here on Halftime with this for this last segment here. Calls and texts coming in at 877-377-6963. Chuck, Saturday was a bummer at Razorback Stadium. There's no other way to put it. I don't think anybody had the loss to Liberty marked down at the start of the season, and certainly after back-to-back wins, and I think the way they played against Auburn, it did not see that coming, but it happened, and it kind of leaves you with these next 3 weeks. It's like, all right, we still need to get that 6th win to go bowling. Thought we would get it this last weekend.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's still plenty of work to do. And, it's not going to be easy when you look at what's out there. I mean, what LSU and Ole Miss have done speaks for itself. And Missouri's a lot better now than they were at the start of the year. I got to be honest. I thought they were one of the worst teams I'd ever seen in the SEC the first month of the season. I thought Vanderbilt would beat them. I just thought Mizzou was terrible. And they're still not great, but they're playing a lot better than they did. And, that's not a layup anymore. So, it's going to be tough. I mean, any of these 3 games I think Arkansas could win. I think they could win all of them. I think they could go 0 for 3 too. So, I'm still not entirely sure what happened on Saturday. I will say this: when you look back at it, and you really take a look at it, maybe from 10,000 feet, as people say, Arkansas was between conference ball games. Liberty, and this isn't Austin P or even UAB or some of these other directional schools that you generally play in November. Of all the November games SEC teams are playing, non-conference-wise, ours was by far the toughest.
You can say the same about October.
Well, but my point is when you really step back and take a look at it, there was upset potential there because you're between conference ball games. And you're playing a team that's playing the biggest game in the history of their program. They were. And they acted like it. They played like it. They came to town. I mean, you could tell that, hey, they were primed to play the Razorbacks, and Arkansas was not primed to play them. And so when you really look at it from 10,000 feet, there was the potential for it to happen. I didn't expect it to happen, though, and I don't think anybody did. But it was just one of those days where, just from the first play from scrimmage, everything seemed off to me. And I thought after the first series that it was going to be a dogfight. And obviously they fell in a hole that, the defense did everything they could in the second half, but, offense didn't score to the fourth quarter. So, I don't care who you're playing. You don't score a touchdown in the fourth quarter, you're probably not going to win.
Yeah, you'd like to see the coaches get creative and do something when you go 7-8 straight possessions and not get any points. But you win as a team and lose as a team. We got out-coached and outplayed. But I want to ask you about the kid McAdoo that blocked the punt. He looked like a defensive player, and I'm glad he's a Razorback, man. He looked good. He's going to be fun to watch.
He's a ball player. He's kind of like Matt Jones. You just pick your position, and he'll be fine. And I think, honestly, I think McAdoo's just a football player. Now, they've said for a couple of weeks that, Pittman said that it was time for him to play. I got the indication Friday that he might even start. Now, he didn't start, but he played, he played abundant minutes and made a couple of the key plays in the game. When KJ threw that pick on that post, I thought the game was over. I thought you start the bus. This is it. And I'm not quite sure why they threw the ball right there, but they did. And McAdoo picked it off, and all of a sudden you're right back in the game. So, yeah, he came to play, and he wants to play. And you can tell that because he's playing, he's genuinely appreciative. He's excited, and he's glad to be out there. And you can tell that he's proud to represent his hometown. He's proud to play for his home state school, and means something to him. And I thought it played, I thought that's the way he played Saturday.
Chuck, listening to Sam Pittman yesterday at his press conference, it sounded like a coach that was that wasn't sure where leadership is coming from his team, and was surprised at the idea that they weren't up to play Liberty, and it was pretty obvious watching that. He talked about Bumper and KJ being leaders, but they're also hurt, and it's difficult to lead when you're hurt. And I look at what's coming up this next weekend at LSU. You should never have any problem getting up for the Battle of the Boot. And usually Arkansas does get up for the Battle of the Boot. Shouldn't be a problem this weekend. It's just you're facing a much better team.
Yeah, I think they'll be, from an emotional standpoint, I'm sure they're mad. I mean, they're walking around with a chip on their shoulder. Everybody's in a bad mood this week. And the only way you get out of that is to win a game. I mean, that's the only way you do. It's going to be miserable around there until they win again. And that's just how it is when you lose a football game like this. And so, yeah, I think they're going to have a bad attitude on Saturday. They better, or, they could get beat pretty soundly. Now, I can't believe that LSU's not going to have some sort of a letdown. I'm not saying they're not going to be a fine football team. I'm not suggesting that. But, I do think there's benefit playing them after they play Alabama. But, you got to go out there and you got to get it done. You got to play. And, one of the things that I think got overlooked last year was how many essentially grown men were playing for the Razorbacks, all those super seniors. I mean, those guys 23, 24 years old.
And Traylon Burks.
Yeah, and Traylon Burks. And so, you had a really mature team last year, and you had Traylon Burks. So, there's a difference there. And I think that some of that I won't say lack of maturity, because I don't think these guys are immature. I just don't think they've got as many 23 and 24-year-olds as maybe they did last year. And particularly from an emotional standpoint, I think that helps your team, and I think it helped the Razorbacks a lot last year. The close bounces went our way last year. They didn't go our way the year before. They went our way last year. Not as many have gone our way this year. And now you're 5-4, and you're not bowl eligible yet. And so, you gotta go out and you gotta get one. And you got a chance this week. You just got to go out and play.
Yeah, as a former quarterback, being able to have that Traylon Burks, that George Wilson, that Marcus Monk, somebody when you're looking up there and you can throw it to, instead of everything being by committee and being schemed, that helps as a quarterback. And you could tell that KJ kind of misses that. And not to take anything away from our receivers, but none of them are Traylon Burks. And Chuck, did you get a chance to watch that Tennessee-Georgia game or any other games?
Well, I watched a little bit of the replay of that. Obviously, we were playing at the same time. I'll tell you what impressed me about Georgia. Their cornerbacks, man. They run the routes with great receivers, and they are so good at that spot. It allows them to do all kinds of things defensively that you cannot do if you don't have lockdown corners. Georgia's defense is it's still a cut above. And I think, frankly, they're so good that they got bored a time or two this year. Alabama used to do this some when they were really, a gauntlet. And we see it in pro sports. You see it at all levels. Sometimes you just get a little bored. And they weren't bored Saturday. They were the dominant team out there. Tennessee's really good. They got a great offense and a grown man playing quarterback. But Georgia's still the baddest bully on the block. It's their league. It's not Alabama's league anymore. It's Georgia's league.
Okay,
and they played like it Saturday.
I want to go in that direction then, because we hear a lot of Alabama's dynasty is over, and they're not the same program and all of that. And you can point to the idea that they're an undisciplined football team in some ways, where in previous years, most of the years under Saban, they have been an incredibly disciplined team. But they're also like 2 plays away from being undefeated, potentially undefeated, and still being in the national title conversation. So, where do you sit on the? You obviously, agree Georgia's the cream of the crop in the SEC, but are the foundations under Alabama really starting to crumble?
Well, I guess we're about to find out, because the conventional wisdom is they're not going to get into the playoff. I'm not fully convinced of that yet, although I guess I should be. But there's a chink in the armor there. I don't think that people, for example, I don't think that LSU went into that ball game 10 points behind, like a lot of teams have gone into the Alabama game. You're so psyched out about playing Alabama, and your margin for error is so small that you tend to make mistakes you don't normally make. And I don't think that aura of invincibility is there like it once was. Now, on the other hand, yeah, they're 2 plays away from being right where they expected to be, but that's not how it worked out, and those were the plays Alabama did make. I think Saban looks a little bit different on the sidelines. I believe that. I'm not saying he coaches any differently, but I'm saying I think his demeanor is a little bit different than it was on the sidelines. I don't think that we're in the final days of Alabama being a great program, but I do think the aura of invincibility is gone.
Well, we're about to have a Clarksville quorum court here, Chuck, because Eduardo from Clarksville has called us up. And, of course, you're a native of Clarksville, and let's get this thing going here to wrap up this segment. Hey, Eddie, you got Chuck Barrett here on the line, too, so I'm just going to back up. How are you doing?
I'm still a Hawk fan, sir. Like I said, I've been through losses before in our program. I had to go back decades. Certainly was a disappointing loss to Citadel, and fans left that day. I remember they were mad. And then we were hearing reports on the way home, down 40, where Coach Brawls walked into the locker room and sent Jack Crow packing. I'm not saying send our coaching packing, but what I am saying, Coach Pittman, sir, it's time to light a fire in some of your staff. And you're the head coach. You can do that. Nothing wrong with that. It's time to light a fire because we got 3 games left. And we got to get at least one. And that performance Saturday is one of the poorest performances by an offensive line I ever witnessed. I don't know what happened. I don't know what took place. It's one thing to get beat. It's another to get mauled by a team you should be competitive with at very least in your backyard. And that didn't take place. So you got to find out, number one, what's there. Number two, I'd like to, you just touched on it. We need about 24 more players like Mr. Quincy McAdoo. You got to love that kid's heart. I don't know where he's been at all year, but, hey, he needs to be on the field. So, whether it's play him on both sides of the ball. Because Trey Knox, I'm going to tell you something. Without a doubt, when Jefferson hits you in the numbers, you got to come down with that ball, and you didn't do it. So, everybody, this is gut check time. You got to look your teammate in the eye, and we got to go to a bowl. It's very important that we do it because if you win the game, they end the year down the stretch on a 4-game losing streak, it doesn't behove our program. It begins to snowball on you quickly, and recruits to jump off the Hawk train. And why wouldn't they? They will not come play for a losing program. Is there anything I said today that's what you need to tell them, Coach Pittman? Because it's gut check time in this program. And so we can go to a bowl, or we can be sitting at the house.
Eddie, it's good to hear from you, man. Chuck, I've
I can't add anything to that.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say have at it, but I think
I can't add anything to that.
It was a good, coherent, cogent phone call from Eduardo, who built himself up. He sounded like Sad Eddie at the first, and then it was fire and brimstone.
He's got some passion, don't he?
He certainly does. Chuck, I've been trying to have conversations with Eddie. Sometimes I'm successful with it, and he actually will do the back and forth, and then other times, you know Eddie, right?
Hey, that's the passion of the Razorbacks right there, baby.
You got that? Hey, Chuck, appreciate you joining us on these Tuesdays. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday.
Guys. Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thanks, Chuck.
Chuck Barrett,
you guys
voice
have
of
a
the
good
Razorbacks. And, of course, he'll have the latest Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast tomorrow. Be on the Morning Rush tomorrow as well, and Ruskin and Zach Thursday. And we'll have more halftime, wrap up the first hour after this.
Better run, 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 run away. Oh, psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my feast of savings, and you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, A deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Hello, this is Sue from the paint store in Van Buren. We are set and ready for all your spring and summer projects. We keep real samples of your Richards paint on file so we can be sure it matches every time. No computer can do that. The paint store in Van Buren. Color expertise and 34 years of knowledge outweighs all the competition. No other paint seller can do that. The paint store in Van Buren, Fayetteville Road, 474-4505.
Frank Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
This is Northside head football coach, Coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach, Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football in fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Clay Henry's coming up with us in the next segment. He'll be with us for a couple of hours. Good song choice there, Matt. He's trying to remove the earworm from me and insert another one. So he's I mean, we're going to probably play the butt later on in the show because it's been
I think you
stuck
can
in
pretty
my
much
head.
count on it, Phil. Yeah. And this was one that gets stuck in my head, and it was just randomly in my head right now, and I thought, maybe I'll share this with everybody else, and hopefully it'll get stuck in your head now, too.
I love it.
You never know about some of the movies that we talk about sometimes, but Matt Jones, you've seen the Goonies?
You know what's funny is I saw it one time, and I remember it growing up like on the USA Network or something. I never watched it, and then I was hanging out with a friend a couple years ago, and it was like, you haven't seen this movie, we have to watch it. And so then I saw it, and I was funny. It was all right, yeah.
Well, my take was that I just want the Razorbacks to be like the Goonies. I just want them to be good enough.
I love it.
Good enough for me. Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper does not sing about A Tale of Two Halves, Maddie.
No.
Unfortunate. Otherwise, we could go in that direction. This is a movie that needs a sequel. Without question, it needs
like Trainspotting 2? Like they wait 20 years later and come back and get the same? Well, you can't get all of them.
Not everybody made it through the first one.
That's right. Next week, there's going to be I forget what the actual name of it is, A Christmas Story Christmas, I believe it is. So... I
thought there already was a sequel to A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any good.
It was a direct-to-video.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. A sequel for that movie should probably have not been made.
Did you see the trailer for that one though? It's got all the their kids grown up. The kid that stuck his tongue to the pole, and Ralphie.
Is his tongue still all intact?
I think
I was worried about that after that happened, man. I mean, you never know when the skin can just rip right off. Well, thanks for getting me a new earworm, Maddie. It's much appreciated.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, you are. BE was on top of this immediately. Fisher in Charleston remembers. Yeah, My Summer Story was the name of that movie.
Oh, and didn't that have Charles Grodin as the dad? And
I think so.
Yeah, the original guy that wrote it still narrated, which was a big part of the original movie.
Jody and Harrison texted us he needs help with hockey. His wife got him hockey tickets for next week's game in Vegas. He doesn't know anything about hockey.
Hockey is awesome to go to. I saw the Nashville Predators play. I've been to one live game, and man, it is like 12 people on the ice all the time. I mean, there's just shift change and everything. It's out of control.
Jody, I know some stuff about hockey, but I got about 15 seconds to tell you the most important thing about it. And that is nachos, okay? You'll have a lot of fun if you just eat those. 877-377-6963. We're opening up the phones, and Clay Henry's on halftime next.
We've invented a new messaging system using the crisp sounds of Bud Light. Crisp Code, Lesson 86. This is how you say, gee willikers, it's a hot one. Let's cool down with some Bud Lights. And that's it for today. Bud Light. Crisp. Enjoy responsibly. Bud Light Beer. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue, behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partners. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see a few breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. Our high this afternoon, upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Mostly cloudy skies, mid to upper 50s tonight. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, our high into the upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
You kick the butt of the best football team in America. Yeah!
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here
Good
on
station.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope on three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Got Clay Henry here with us on halftime for the next couple of hours, our Tuesday friend and our Friday co-host this weekend.
That's right.
That's right. I'm not going to be on the air with you guys on Friday. I got a Screaming Kids Day morning basketball game. Arkansas UCA at Bud Walton Arena begins at 10:30. So you guys are on your own. I'm not even going to be listening. I don't care what happens with you guys on Friday at all.
Bill, we're going to miss you, but we're going to have fun. We will, Phil. We're going to miss you, but we're still going to have fun while you're gone.
Isn't Ty Richardson going to be on the show?
Oh, now we're not going to have fun.
I thought you said you were having fun.
Yeah. That's why I wanted to remind you, hey.
Yeah, Clay.
Don't start to have fun just yet.
Did you realize, Clay, when you signed on to do Friday's show?
You said it. Your first text is like there'll be Ty or Tommy to referee. Well, I knew Tommy wasn't going to do it.
It was an or then. I didn't know it would be Tommy.
Yeah, but I knew. The boss decides.
That's awesome. So it's how some people, Matt, how for some people Friday is like the start to the weekend. It's when the fun and the merriment begins. That's why we do the golden hour.
Oh yeah,
the last hour of the week on Friday. No, it's like a repeat of Monday for Clay. He's got to deal with Ty for 2 hours, for 3 hours because he'll be on the whole show.
Phil, I went to UCA. It was State College of Arkansas then, and then I was the sports editor of the Conway paper, and their basketball team was really, really good, their women's basketball team. And you know what the headlines were in the paper, what we refer to them as?
The Sugar Bears.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Sugar Bears.
I think they're still called the Sugar Bears.
Are they really?
I believe so.
They have to be. They're like the Razorbacks. There's only one Sugar Bear.
There's only one Razorback.
It's cereal. I mean, come on. It's the opposite of Honey Smacks. It's Golden Crisp, made by Post, who's not paying for this ad. But that's the only Sugar Bear I remember.
There's 32 teams going to Qatar. We can preview those teams all
Absolutely.
3 hours if we have to.
3 hours. Clay's into it, man. He's into
I
it.
like soccer too. Yeah.
He doesn't have a lick of. He doesn't know what he's doing with. He ties like me with soccer. Yeah. So you guys have fun with that, but I'll be with you, for the next couple of hours, so you can at least take some solace in that. Clay, where do you want to go? You want to go happy basketball?
Unpack. Yeah, this is you're the You're the narrator.
Let's go football and get it. Let's go, and then let's go back.
You want to get the crap out of the
let's get the negative,
first?
and then we'll turn it. I mean, whatever you want to do, Clay. But it's I don't know.
No, we'll go football. Why not? Why not? So I wonder about getting up for a game sometimes. Like, Matt, you're the athlete. I've always wondered, and I guess for a broadcaster's perspective too, like you get more excited for one game over the other sometimes, depending on the opponent and what you expect out of that game. I have a little problem, though, hearing Sam Pittman talk yesterday about, he wasn't really sure what happened with the team's energy and why they felt lifeless, totally lifeless for an entire half of football. And these things just don't really jibe to me very much. I thought this was a coaching staff that was good at lighting a fire under the team. And there wasn't that fire until they realized that they very well could lose a game that they probably shouldn't have lost.
Yeah, see, first of all, and Matt can chime in at any point because, he's been there. I haven't. But I can remember, I go back to my roots, and that's what I learned from listening to Frank Broyles, and he always said you had your A game, your ultimate, he called it your stinger, about twice a year. And then there's about another 3 times that, you can get up, but you probably don't have your stinger. I mean, that's Texas, right? That's, that might be another, wherever. Maybe your first game. You're usually pretty excited for your first game because you want to get out there. Then those other games, when you play Alabama or LSU, the players take care of it. They're fired up to play. They know that the whole nation's watching, so to speak, and you get yourself going, and the coaches add to that. But when you really earn your money as a coach, it's these games, and it's the Missouri State games, and it's not easy, and that doesn't excuse it. You've got to earn your money. And, the pulse of the team. And, you hope that you have, great senior leaders that, rattle some cages in practice, it's like, hey, we're not getting it. But, Sam said he felt like their attention to detail wasn't very good in their walkthrough the day before. And so he sensed that they were, hopefully you snap them out of it. But, then, you've got, a tougher assignment. And without question, Liberty's not as good, as far as the overall talent, but they're playing really good right now. I mean, they're on a roll, and they did have their stinger, and they played hard. And somehow you got to match that. And then, there was some scheme things that they, didn't really grasp or get a handle on, whether they practiced them. They did. They said they knew that's what they were going to do. But you still, things just didn't mesh right. You had
well, it's tough.
You had linemen turn loose in the middle and in on the edge, and that's a hard combination to beat when your running back's getting hit right at the mesh point.
Yeah, it's. I just don't see how they were overlooking this game
because
they needed it to get to 6. But no, you're right that there are a couple games where you just, for whatever reason, I said like the mood had changed. Like you're in a funk and something's going on, and usually you have your teammates to kind of pick you back up, and it just took us too long to get going. The defense played well in the second half, but we could not get going in that. I'd like to see them throw Malik out there or something and put that package in. Just to change it up for something because we couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, it's like they needed a jolt, right? And maybe that could have been it.
But we got beat everywhere. Coaches got beat and the players got beat. It's
no
not
question.
So we definitely everybody took down.
And then without question, the crowd was they didn't ever have anything to get going. I mean, that first half, there wasn't anything to cheer about. I mean, there just wasn't. You want to cheer on a field goal to end the half. I mean, I guess, you can do that, but it's over. The half is over. I mean, the drive where they didn't get anything, the interception in the end zone where it looked like Knox was – actually, they had 2 guys open, didn't they, Matt?
Well, Knox catches that ball 99 out of 100 times.
Catch it.
Yeah. It's just a fluke deal.
And, in fact, I had to watch the replay twice to see how did the defensive back end up
It's
with
like he handed it to him, right? Like
Yeah.
I threw a pass like that against South Carolina in Little Rock, and the defensive player, I threw it behind. I threw it to the actual defensive player, and so the next week when we were watching highlights, they put a little magic like color on the ball because there was no way. And Richard Smith catches it and goes for a touchdown, and it was just a fluke, lucky play.
Guys, Sam Pittman addressed the low energy of Arkansas coming out of the gates on Saturday, and this was from yesterday's press conference.
We had all kinds of reasons to win, even if just winning is the reason, winning homecoming. But we had all kinds. I mean, to be the top 25 team, to get bowl eligible, homecoming. We had all kinds of reasons to go out there and play hard and play well. And we didn't. But now as you think about it more and more, it's, for the most part, it's non-Power 5 teams that we haven't, we woke up against Missouri State late. We never really woke up Saturday. It shouldn't be that way. Those type teams, we've got to have a hunger. And I respect all of them. Heck, one Saturday beat us. We were trying to simulate it in practice with the fast starts and all these type things. I don't know why, but it was flat and you could feel it. We couldn't get it turned around fast enough.
There you go. I mean, he didn't know what the purpose, what the reason was either.
Week 9, no excuses. Homecoming. I know it's an early game. There's really no excuses. It's one of those deals where you gotta go run it out of them, or so let's go do some sprints. We're not even going to watch the tape, and we got to forget about it and move on. And you talk about scheme, Phil and Clay. If Liberty schemed us up, what do you think LSU's going to do? What I mean, with the better players, you don't think they're going to not do the same schemes, the same stuff that just shuts you? That's what happens when something on tape shows up that you can't do well.
You can expect to see it next week.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I mean that's the model. It's like, all right, we're going to do this, and they had trouble with LSU. They sent extra guys, and their defense won that game. Now, I got to admit that, I mean, KJ was not sharp. You can slice it up anything
He was like lethargic or something.
Yeah.
He
looked like a guy that hadn't practiced all week.
Yeah.
And apparently he hadn't practiced much in 4 weeks. And that's a recipe for disaster. And it's another reason, like you said, Matt, maybe you put the guy out there that has practiced.
He probably hasn't practiced since Bama week, huh? Because he got, and then,
Hey, we got Charlie
I think he was hurt before the A&M game. When you watch
he had the
him,
concussion, yeah.
Well, I think his shoulder's been bothering him for most of the season, and
they've
it's not going to get well. Yeah,
they've referenced the shoulder and that it's bruised. But I mean, if
it's in the joint.
I think it's the sort of thing that unless you get multiple weeks of rest, it's going to be a while before it really feels better. Let's go to the phones, 877-377-6963 to get on halftime. Charlie, you're up. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Every time I hear Clay on here, I know I got to bring it. So I was trying to
be you, man.
Figure out.
Isn't that what they tell you, Matt? Just be you.
Be yourself.
I'm trying to be me, Clay. But if I'm me, then
just you is good enough.
It's like Ty. Me and Ty are close and similar.
Don't be Ty.
No, you were going to say that. I'm sorry, I can't. I actually, Ty is, what I mean by that is, we're young and dumb. We don't know yet what we don't. Well,
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Did you get that, Ty? Did you hear that? Just making sure.
Ty I love Ty. First of all, I love Ty's takes and all that, and I get it. But I remember one morning I was listening to the Morning Rush, and him and Clay are going back and forth. And I'm like, Ty, you might as well just take it as constructive criticism, man, because you ain't going to win that back. It just is what it is. But, Clay, I agree with you. KJ didn't look sharp, but you're one of the guys that always talks about offensive line play. They were awful Saturday. And I know they were struggling with the twist and the stunts and the things of that nature. And when you say you've prepared for it all week, and I Matt, I called in and talked about this yesterday, but the zone running scheme should be a way to attack that, because if you're, and I know it's a step and then you're together and then boom, the problem was they couldn't get to that next level. They were, Matt, if I'm not mistaken, I know that they weren't bringing their safeties down or anything. We just couldn't get to the second level. that defensive lineman was just getting quick penetration, and those linebackers
We got
just
scouted right.
free
And they
run.
knew that, yes, they
Yeah.
watched tape too. They knew what our tendencies were, and they were looping right into them, and we got out coached a little bit. You know, it just we took an
didn't-
L
we
all
didn't
across
have
the
an
board.
Yeah, we just didn't have an answer. And I know KJ didn't look great. I know the receivers dropped a few balls. I will say this, though, something about KJ, though, when that game, I'm going to give him some credit for in those 2 drives where kind of got him back in the game, because I don't think Malik can – I'm not saying he's I don't know if Malik does that, you know, where we need passes complete on 4th and 8, and he rips one in there to Jaden Hazelwood over the middle. You know, KJ was fighting, but when it was go time, it was like, I'm going to do everything in my power, and I'm going to give him credit for gutting that out. I do agree with y'all, though. Maybe put Malik in there. I do want to say one thing before I go. Basketball team. Man, good game last night, but I'm worried about Nick Smith, this knee thing, because he had the same thing in high school. I know some history about his knee, and he had it overseas. I'm not saying he's out for the year, but guys, I'm worried about it. I hope he can fight through it, but I hope it's not something that he has to deal with all year.
You know what you don't see, Clay will know this too. You know what you don't see.
Anyways, guys, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for the
Charlie.
call. You don't see soccer players with knee braces, and you don't see basketball players with knee braces, Clay. Like, so that ain't good. If you got to get that knee taken care of.
Yeah, it's and you know the whole game is just cutting and turning and change of direction. That's what basketball is, and you got to get in a defensive stance, and you're going to bend your knees, and you know it's there's history of the one and dones that they get a little nervous if they've got an injury. Michael Porter, that their season at Missouri got derailed because I think it was a back injury with him.
Yes,
though.
it was. Yeah, but you got to take care of him, Clay. If
You
he's
do.
your one and get done, you don't want him out there and getting hurt. You
No.
got to, because he's going to get you the next one and done until you take care of your star.
Yeah, and this is the time to, if he needs, and I know they've been in a grind the last 6 weeks, and their practices are tough. So if he needs if he needs 4 or 5 weeks, right now's the time to do it. And it will, it sucks, but they've got other talented players. Now I enjoyed watching them play, and Devo and Anthony Black, they did fine. They're not Nick Smith. Nobody is. But, you're talking about an all SEC type player that you're subtracting for, maybe a number of games. But I've heard nothing to say that his season's over. I've heard people saying, well, it could be. They don't know. The people that know are not saying that.
There's all sorts of rumors out there right now.
Yeah, but the people that know that I trust are not saying that.
You know what they are saying? They say that they want to be at Joe's Grilling Cantina, Clay, when they're watching Arkansas
Yeah.
basketball and football games. They're telling you that because they want to be there for half-price apps and half-price taps during any televised game. They're telling you that there's TVs all around the restaurant, so you're always going to be able to see what's happening while you're enjoying your favorite apps and beers that are all half-price during the game. It's at Joe's Grilling Cantina, which, by the way, is Taco Tuesday today. $1 crispy tacos all day long. Add another $1.50 and you got a pork belly taco or a carnita taco. You can go to joesfortsmith.com to learn more. You can order there or use the Waiter app to order. And they are right there at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith across from Harps, open Tuesday through Saturday. Phone lines are open. Clay's with us until the end of the show. 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
Then you talk up to Dantley and Williams are on the scene, and Ralph Simpson is really mean.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
On Saturday, we run through that A. Nothing else matters except playing for your teammate next to you. And for that Arkansas across your chest.
Don't let him out of here without showing them who the hell we are. Oh, you got drilled. We are the University of Arkansas. Let's go prove it. Let's go show them.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center now offers in-stock vinyl plank flooring starting at 89 cents per square foot. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, they have all the materials needed to lay your new flooring, or you can choose their professional installation. Whatever your choice, give them a call today to get a free same-day estimate. Financing available. For the best customer service from flooring to countertops, Norris Material and Supply Flooring Center is your local flooring professional. Check them out online at flooring.norrisms.com or on the corner of Wheeler and South Y, 479-289-7111. Hablamos Espanol.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for governor.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finder's best kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And Clay Henry with us, as we will have right now. Name That Hog, presented by Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. This is your opportunity to win a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. Where you, when you want to show your hog pride, Alumni Hall is your ultimate shopping experience. Got the best and largest selection of apparel for the entire family. Nike, Nike Golf, Champion, Columbia, gifts, accessories, and all your tailgating needs. Arkansas students, faculty, and military receive 10% off in-store, and you can earn cash back with Alumni Hall's Hall Pass rewards. That's Alumni Hall. They're on North College Avenue, right next to Whole Foods. You can also go to alumnihall.com anytime and check out their latest giveaways on social and alumnihall.com. That's Alumni Hall, where Razorback fans shop. In order to win the gift card, we do this via text. It'll be 877-377-6963. Name this hog. He is from Atlanta, Texas, not Georgia. Atlanta, Texas.
I knew you were going to have to do something quick.
What part of the state is Atlanta, Texas? That's East Texas?
East Texas, Northeast Texas, yeah.
It's a good guess. I know I've seen the sign before.
US 59.
On the drive to the DFW Metroplex. I know I'd seen that one. It's like when you're driving north in North Arkansas and you see the sign for Omaha. You're like, what? I'm not close to Nebraska. No, it's a different place. It's a different. So this former Razorback is from Atlanta, Texas. I wonder if that's enough of a clue to give it to somebody. Somebody out there might know a Razorback from Atlanta, Texas, but nobody's texted in yet.
I tried to make it where they couldn't get it on the first one.
Well, I think you succeeded. Actually, you did not succeed because one's already come in.
Oh, yeah?
You did not succeed. There's a
I just wonder if Matt Jones tipped somebody off.
Well, we're just going to keep going a little farther with this. We have a correct answer.
I have not. I don't even have. Off. Yeah, I don't. I have
because you knew,
Clay. I gotta get you my new phone. I know. There's hardly. Wasn't me.
And there are 4 correct answers now. Google's the way everybody answers questions these days, Griff. This Razorback holds the record for most punt kick returns in a season. 28 punt returns, 28 kick returns. Clay, safe to say that record's never going to be broken.
They can't return a kickoff anymore with those fair catches.
You won't have 28 kick returns in the next 100 years.
No.
And this guy did it 28 times in a season.
A baller. I'll let Matt Jones talk about this guy.
He's
Matt Jones knows him well, yeah.
Well, he's one of the best teammates and locker room guys, and always has a smile on his face. Never complained. Always yes sir, no sir. And the thing was that 7 overtime game against Ole Miss, he made some key blocks in that game, being an up back. Oh, and then in the LSU game, he's playing receiver. Making the catch, and then you go to the Kentucky game.
The catch.
The catch, and then you go to the Kentucky game. I think he carries it 30-something times, and that 7 overtime. Like, he just, whatever coach asked him to do, he did it, and he excelled at it. He was a player in all his attributes and all his things, like everything. He was just good at everything.
I think you've just given the whole thing up here. I was trying to hide it for at least another 3 or 4 minutes.
Somebody already guessed.
Somebody already got it, but Matt, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who Matt's talking about now. But I'm just going to keep going a little farther.
I thought we had already.
I haven't said the name yet. I haven't said the name yet, but we have
what
now
were the other
15
clues?
correct answers on the text line. I played pro football for the Jets, Niners, Giants, Frankfurt Galaxy, the old. Was that the World League of American Football, or was that was NFL Europe, I guess? Indianapolis Colts and the Carolina Panthers. After retiring from football, I became a Texas state trooper, and not just like an average run-of-the-mill state trooper, State Trooper of the Year in 2015. And yes, he did catch a touchdown pass for Matt Jones to defeat LSU with a miracle in Markham.
Phil, whatever he did, he was good at. That's no surprise. You could have said whatever he wanted to go into, whatever profession he's gonna excel at it and be the best at it. That's just who he is down to his core.
It is DeCorey Birmingham. Yes, yeah. I think you guys knew that like probably 5 minutes ago. Jeff in Fayetteville tells us Jason Peters is from Atlanta, Texas.
They're related. They're buddies. Yeah, they're buddies. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gold mine recruiting area when you think about the guys that
how'd they get
came
Jason
from that
Peters?
area.
Yeah, how'd you get him? How did he go undrafted? You look at some of that. Yeah, I mean that was wild.
Very, very good.
Jim Washburn told me that he could win a national championship, and he'd put 8 coaches on US 59 from Texarkana to Beaumont. And he said, we just work one side of the road or the other side of the road. Just go all the way down and back. Yeah. Of course, I mean, Jim Washburn was a great recruiter. I mean, I don't think you ever knew him, Matt, but he was, was there for Danny Ford, and then Houston Nutt didn't retain him. And but he recruited a lot of those guys from that US 59 corridor.
All right, so we've got our winner. And it looks like it is Matthew Merritt, who texted us in out of the 501. So we'll get your information, and congratulations. You have won a $25 gift card from Alumni Hall in Fayetteville. And
that was fun.
You can just pick it up there at Alumni Hall when we get your information. Yeah, that was good. And a good one there, too, Clay, because you knew we were going to use this LSU week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out something where Google can't give you the answer. Something a little more obscure than that.
Google answers everything.
I will not. From now on, I'm not going to give you hometowns.
There you go. For the Ole Miss game, let's don't use DeCorey again. How about that? We can't go back-to-back games. Yeah, we'll change it up.
Yeah, and don't use Hunter Henry for the Ole Miss game, okay?
There you go.
Yeah, we can't go like the most famous play of all time against each of these teams.
I mean, one of the clues would be he's not related to me.
Okay, that works well. All right, 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us. We're going to take a break. Lots more coming up on halftime. Remember, Danny West will join us in about 45 minutes for an update on Arkansas recruiting. And we've got more on halftime after this quick break.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe. And football is in the air, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Whether you're opening your first checking account, purchasing your first home, saving for your first big vacation, or opening a new business, First Star Bank offers hometown service with the latest in digital banking technology. Our local team makes banking fast, convenient, and easy. From simple everyday banking to helping you fulfill your dreams, our team is here to guide you every step of the way. First Star Bank. We'll be there through all your firsts. Learn more at firststar.bank or stop by one of our local branches today. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
I'm not gonna lay around and whine and moan, 'cause somebody done me wrong. Don't think for a minute that I'm gonna sit around and sing some old sad song. I believe it's half full, not a half empty glass. Every day I wake up knowing it could be my last. I ain't here for a long time, I'm here for a good time.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we continue here on Halftime, 877-377-6963. Clay Henry with us here. Clay, I had quite the experience last night in Pine Bluff, Arkansas for the start of the women's basketball season. I don't think I'm ever going to be in an atmosphere that's quite like that. It was part basketball game, part dance party, part showing off the band. And part I'm still not quite sure what else was going on, but it was the basketball game felt secondary. It was a lot of fun.
I've actually played basketball in Pine Bluff, but it wasn't in that gym. It was at Pine Bluff High School.
Yeah, this was at the on-campus. You can't. They call it Clemens Arena. I'm gonna call it a gym because I think that's what it was.
It's a gym. That's what it is.
It's an old-fashioned gym that catches.
But they
sound.
rock it out, don't they?
Oh my gosh. It was amazing. 16 tubas. I counted them.
Oh,
16 tubas with a low roof and a low ceiling. My head was ringing on the way out of town. The game started 18 minutes late, and the referees were blown away by this. Guys, the refs don't talk to me. Like, I've gotten into this with people before on the show, and I joke about it occasionally. I don't give the fist pound to the referees before basketball games when they come down to the scores table. So I'm like, what are we doing here? Why am I?
Oh, man, you got to do the fist bump.
I never give the hand. I don't get handshakes from umpires. Basketball, football referees don't come up. I know we got into this before.
You can't leave them hanging.
But they came over. I was on the other side from the bench last night, and two of the officials came over during halftime. They don't ever talk to me for good reason. They come over to me and they just ask, so how late did this game start? They didn't want to ask the actual people that run the game for UAPB because they were the reason that the game started 18 minutes late. They came over to me, and I've never seen quite anything like this before. It's because the UAPB team was introduced with this. You know how you get, put things up on the video board and loud music, and they introduce the Razorbacks with, columns of fire that shoot up. And I mean, it's a big production. There was none of that at all for the UAPB team yesterday, but they had the band lined up, the dance team lined up, and the players were dancing. They had a 10-minute routine before they even introduced the team. They had already introduced the Razorbacks. So they were standing there. They were standing there on the court, arms folded. They looked entertained at first, and then 8 minutes later, they looked annoyed. I would have been annoyed too.
They're not in charge.
No,
that's what the refs think they're in charge of the whole world.
Matt, that was one of the weirdest atmospheres. Weird in a good way. Like, it was a lot of fun last night. If I were to put you on the spot and ask you, like, one of the weirder atmospheres that you can remember playing in as a college athlete.
Yeah, college. I was going to say high school game. Phil, we were playing a team. We were on the road in our student section. We were up by like 18 in the first half, and it was just going out of control. They kicked out. We were on the road team, and they kicked out our entire student section in the basketball gym. So it was like 80, and we lost the game. Like that was a weird, but I don't know. I mean, we had to do, like metal detectors. We played a game in Little Rock, and so being that for the first time, that was kind of weird because you just not, went to school where you didn't even lock your locker, and then all of a sudden you're going somewhere where you gotta. It's just just a culture shock. But I don't know that I had any weird environments there. Playing in Tennessee, as much as I don't. That's an electric environment up there. That was crazy, but nothing weird like that. Now Quinn Gray, I had a guy from Jacksonville. He Florida A&M quarterback, and he said there's nothing more depressing than coming out at halftime of the locker room and seeing all the fans gone because they just all came for the halftime show. So that was pretty neat.
Well, nobody left yesterday. Like I told them about it in the first hour, Clay. I mean, Arkansas is up 25 points in the fourth quarter. There might have been 30 fans that left, so they still had like 4,000, 4,500 in the building. Arkansas is up by 25 in the fourth quarter, and the crowd was entertaining themselves by doing the wave and dancing to the butt, which I don't know if you know what the butt is, but we're going to play it at some point.
I got an idea.
It was amazing.
Yeah, the weirdest atmosphere or the most nervous that I ever was, and it was for good reason. Oklahoma played at Colorado, and Oklahoma had Billy Tubbs and Wayman Tisdale. I mean, they were hell on wheels. I mean, they were really good. And I can't remember the Colorado players, but they had a men's and women's double header, and they had quarter beer. They put the students right behind press row. Press row was on that court side. That used to be the way it was. And now the media, everybody said, "Are you disappointed?" Moving the media off press row when you've been through the experience that I'm going to describe changes your perspective. There's people that media guys are like, "I can't believe we're sitting up here." It's like, man, this is a lot better than being down on the court. Well, why? I said, well, when they storm the court, they'll come right over the top of you sometimes.
That's right. They're coming over you.
And the students are behind us. They're all drunk. They're buying that quarter beer in little plastic cups, and they're throwing the cups. They're throwing beer so cheap they just throw it up in the air. I mean, it's just like we'll just get 4 more. And Colorado upset Oklahoma, and the students came right over the top of us. I grabbed, it was the laptops were these Tandy Radio Shack 100s, little bitty things. I put it underneath my seat and then went into the fetal position. And they were just stepping on my back, coming right over the top of me. And I mean, once they all were through, then you could sit up and, kind of enjoy what was happening out there. But Billy Tubbs, he had a lot of fun in the post game, describing how dangerous it was and everything. But I mean, quarter beer, you're just kind of asking for it, aren't you?
Oh, no kidding, man. I mean, just ask Bill Veck and 10-cent beer at the Cleveland Indians game.
You can guess who sponsored that night.
That game too.
That's right, and it was baseball bat day. These things should not come together at the same time.
Not.
Yeah, you want some violence. You want a problem. You want to chase away some of your more well-behaved fans discount alcohol.
That was
easily.
in the 80s. You know, the name of the arena is what? You guys know what it's named, right? It's the Coors Center.
Oh, that's right, the Coors Center. Coors. You got to say it right. It's Coors.
Banquet
Center.
beer, right?
The Yellow Jacket.
And I remember. I mean, the first year I worked for a minor league baseball team, we did Thirsty Thursday. This was for a team in Fayetteville, North Carolina, and there was, they did dollar beers every Thursday night. This was in a city that is attached to Fort Bragg and the Pope Air Force Base. And those guys, I'll tell you, Thursday nights at that little ballpark, saw some of the most violent fights I've ever seen in my life. And then, I mean, when I worked for the Travelers, they never did Thirsty Thursday or a discount beer night because, how ballparks will stop selling beer at the end of the 8th inning or the end of the 7th inning, right?
They do now. They didn't back then.
Not then. That's when they discounted beer at Traveler games. Yeah. Bill Valentine would get on the PA system, or he would hound the PA announcer to getting on the PA system, and Pabst Blue Ribbons were $1 for the next 10 minutes. You're like, there's one out in the 9th inning, Bill, and people are going home.
Got to change the kegs, though, man.
Yeah.
We got to drain these out. We got new ones coming in, man. Told you, but the parents weren't gone till 5.
This was the same place that sold 8-month-old stale Marlboro Reds the year after were banned from selling cigarettes in the ballpark because they were still there. This was the same place that would sell Baseball America, copies of Baseball America to fans. That these copies were supposed to go into the clubhouse. It said on the front, not for resale. They were selling them for $2. That's where, yeah. So no surprise beer was discounted in the 8th inning. It probably should have been free if they got to the 12th inning. That's how I cut my teeth in the state of Arkansas. I'm lucky to still be alive.
Professional, man.
You got that right. Professional what?
I would say that's where you buttered your bread.
Yeah, on the crust instead of the actual stuff you usually butter it on. Right. We got a break. 877-377-6963. We are brought to you by our friends at Twin Peaks, your sports headquarters. 29-degree draft beer is flowing, and the kitchen is bursting with made-from-scratch fan favorites. The game's blasting from every angle. They got the ultimate game day experience at Twin Peaks. You can also go online at twinpeaksrestaurant.com and order.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire.
The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard. Unlike those other companies, items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair.
I'm not the way that you found me. I'm neither here nor there. One day I'm happy and healthy.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
As well, and we got Cody who's giving us a call during the commercial break, so let's take this phone call before the top of the hour. Cody, you were ticked yesterday, man. I could hear it in your voice. Sometimes there's those little subtle changes in your voice, and I could tell. How you feeling today?
I feel pretty good. It's unique always calling into a radio station, like this. You kind of get to know the people, so that's a good and a bad thing. I was a little flustered yesterday. But
yeah, we know the little subtleties in your voice, but you sound like you're far away from the telephone.
Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Is that any better?
That's Cody. That's the Cody I know. Hi, Cody.
Sound like he was from the bottom of the swimming pool.
That's right.
Hey, come on now. Hey, Clay, I didn't get to hear a lot of it, so I've got a couple of things. But, Clay, what was your breakdown of the game yesterday or Saturday? What did you feel
it's
happened?
kind of funny that for 3 different radio shows, 2 in the middle of the week, and then I called in and talked to Tommy, and everybody's talking about, bet the over, and I was like, Liberty's defense is really good, and their defensive line, their nose tackle and their middle linebacker are 2 really good SEC quality players, and I think that it's going to be a real challenge for Limmer, Lathan, and Stromberg, and I don't think anybody listened to me. And I know we talked about that on this show. And so that played out. I mean, I thought Arkansas would win, but I just thought it would be a lower score game. But it's, it's very frustrating when you see that play out and you got veteran players and they can't handle it. They should be able to make adjustments, and I know that frustrated Sam. He's really proud of those three guys.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah, so that's my take, that, in quarterback play was below his level, below average. You get outplayed at quarterback, you're going to have a hard time winning.
Right. Let me ask you this. From what you understand, Hugh Freeze, so I didn't even know the full story. I knew that it was Liberty. I've watched sports my whole life, so I at least heard of Liberty. I wonder sometimes about how many of these Hawks fans, we have a good fan base, don't get me wrong, but it's not like Hugh Freeze and Liberty just got successful this year. It's been a slow build. Do you think Hugh Freeze ends up back in the SEC, or is that really never going to happen? Because he's obviously that caliber of a coach, Clay.
Yeah, it's like, would Auburn do that? Yeah, I don't think they worry too much about that. I just don't know what their options are. Who's going to come after that? And I would guess that Hugh Freeze would be a top option for them.
Right, Kiffin as well. But hey, here's the other thing, and then I'll get off the phone. Well, actually, two things. So, Clay, we spoke about this earlier in the year, and you and I kind of got to a point where it's like, play the best players. Well, McAdoo, correct me if I'm wrong, but he looks head and shoulders above half the people that we've seen in that backfield. On the secondary, Estania, excuse my ignorance on that, but
Isaiah,
can he not add? Okay, can he not give us another threat to open up the offense in the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, he's been hurt for the last 3 months basically. He's now healthy. Okay. He's not a big guy, so there's some plays that you can't run that would require him to block. So your defense is going to know that you're not running that stuff. The outside screens where he would be a blocker, or in the the outside zone reads, the wide receiver's got to block. He's just going to get knocked around. But your point is well made, that there are some things that he can do that might take the top off the defense. He just hadn't practiced much because of that ankle injury.
Hey, Cody, we're right up against the commercial break, so we'll have to leave it there. Always good to hear from you, Cody. Thank you. All right, that's 2 hours in the books on halftime. Hey, Clay, you did bring up on the show about the nose tackle and up the middle defensively for Liberty and the plays that they made all year. And man, you must know what
the bull rush got him later in the game. I mean, that guy just pushed that guard and center right back in KJ's lap. That took away their deep pass. Bull rush is tough on the deep pass, right, Matt? You can't step into it.
Man, everybody, I don't think a lot of people played good. There was a poor performance by everybody top to bottom. I don't think there's one person to blame it on, but
no.
We'll get more into this. Third hour's next.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
Frank Rowe Furniture is your family-owned furniture, appliance, and electronics store. We have been servicing the area for 38 years with quality products and service after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture offers a no-pressure sales atmosphere where you can actually enjoy shopping for your furniture. We also offer in-store, no-credit check financing. Don't wait weeks to be able to take your furniture you purchase home. Stop by and we will load you up today. Family-owned, service after the sale, and no-credit check financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Marlin, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
I'm Steve Womack, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message. This election isn't about me. It's about the future of our nation. In less than 2 years, we've watched the radical policies of the far left unleash crisis after crisis. The Biden-Pelosi agenda has wrecked our economy, making it harder for families to put food on the table and gas in their cars. It's destroyed our energy independence, left our borders wide open, and undermined national security. Their response? Raise your taxes, spend more money, and supersize the IRS. It's only strengthened my resolve to preserve freedom and defeat these socialist ideas. If you're like me and committed to upholding the Constitution, protecting individual liberty, and prioritizing responsible spending and regulatory relief, I humbly ask for your support in this election. Together, we will secure the promise of Arkansas and America for future generations. Paid for by Womack for Congress.
Are you a real estate property investor looking for a better solution to manage your property? Marshall's Management Group is a locally owned, fully staffed property management company that understands your lifelong investments are not just buildings, it's your money. Marshall's Management will maximize your bottom line. Call Marshall's Management Group at 479-242-7081 for a free review of your property portfolio. Right into a new year with a better bottom line with Marshall's Management Group, 479-242-7081 or marshallsrentals.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we'll see a few breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. Our high this afternoon, upper 60s north, mid 70s south. Mostly cloudy skies, mid to upper 50s tonight. And then tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny, our high into the upper 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Make sure you're subscribed to the Hit That Line Podcast Network. If you do, the podcast will automatically download to your phone. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Busch Light Studios, this is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
You said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew! Hey! Hey! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we got you for another hour. Clay Henry's with us here on halftime. Calls and text in at 877-377-6963. And we'll have Danny West coming up in the next segment to get into some football recruiting. Did you see, the Baseball Hall of Fame came out with a ballot. Now that we're into the offseason, it's, you get into the trades and the Hall of Fame ballot is always top of mind when it comes down to this sort of thing. But it's a different ballot because it's a contemporary ballot for players whose careers started after 1980. So it's guys that we all watched, and it's sort of one of the replacements of the old Veterans Committee. But look at the names that have been released here on this contemporary list. And then there's also a couple of names that are not on the list that really also, I think, are piquing some people's interest. Barry Bonds is a nominee. Roger Clemens, Rafael Palmeiro. So right there, you have three of the big faces of the performance enhancing drug scandal that took root in the 90s, and Bonds and Clemens and Palmeiro all are really famous for that. We remember Palmeiro shaking his finger at Congress, Clemens and his trainer or his athletic and I guess it was his trainer in that Diet Coke can or something where he saved the Diet Coke can to keep some of Clemens' DNA so he could get it tested or something. Whoa. And the cream in the clear with Bonds. I mean, it was some really crazy stuff going on with those guys. And then there's Curt Schilling, who's, he's in his own category. A guy that I think without question has the career that means he should be in the Hall of Fame. But, what's happened post-career, and I think more than anything, the way he's treated people, I think has kind of stuck in the writer's craw. And then there's guys
vote
like
when nobody likes you.
Well, and this is a different group of people. These are not the writers that are voting now. So this is a different situation. And then you got Albert Bell and Don Mattingly, who probably would have been surefire Hall of Famers that the writers would have put in if injuries hadn't derailed their career. Bell's career ended at age 33 because of a degenerative hip issue, and the dude could still mash. And Mattingly dealt with a bad back almost his entire career and still was incredibly good. And then there's Dale Murphy, who doesn't belong on this list because nothing happened to him in his career. He's just too darn nice. Won back-to-back MVPs in the 80s and, hasn't ever made it into the Hall of Fame. Got to have 75% of the votes of a 16-person committee that are made up of former players, managers, and executives. So it's not the writers. And by the way, Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa are not on this list of players who are eligible for the Contemporary Players Committee to make it into the Hall of Fame, which I find interesting. If you've got Bonds and Clemens and Palmeiro, why no Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa? I can't quite figure that out.
How do you get nominated? Who nominates guys for the Hall of Fame? What's the short list on that? How does it even get started?
I don't know how the nominations come down from the Hall of Fame for this committee, because it's all about, if your career started after a certain year, then you're eligible for it. It's just got to be like maybe there's a second committee that does it. You're eligible for the Hall of Fame once you're 5 years retired, no matter what. And then if you get 1% of the vote, or I think 5% of the vote, then you're on the ballot for another year, up to 10 years. I don't know how they choose this ballot for the contemporary list. It just seems that if you're going to go with the quote-unquote faces of the steroid scandal, really, McGwire and Sosa were the first ones that were questioned about this.
Big Mac and Slammin' Sammy. I had a buddy that was a Sammy Sosa fan during all that. That was so fun to watch. That was a time of baseball. I don't know the whole ins and out on what they did wrong or whatever, but Sosa, when he had the corked bat and it breaks out there, and he was Sammy Sosa fan, and I said, yeah, man, I heard they're taking all his home runs away. They're just, if you get what's one, you must have it all over.
He probably believed you too.
Right.
Bonds. This is how Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens were going to make it into the Hall of Fame to begin with. There weren't any writers. There weren't enough writers, obviously. They just were too disliked, and I think that the fact that they were disliked has a lot to do with why writers didn't vote for him. And the steroids are part of it, but that's why they didn't vote for Schilling. Look, I don't like Curt Schilling. I think he's a jerk. But I think Curt Schilling was one of the most dominant pitchers of his time and is no question a Hall of Famer. This is how he gets in, too.
Is it more of his political stance and stuff? Because he's definitely he definitely goes out there on some stuff sometimes, because you have to respect his game, though, as a ball player. He's as good as, now you can think whatever, people have their own thoughts and stuff, but as a ball player, I think he's a 5-star guy. Yeah,
it's kind of also a bit of the way
I think
that he's
Bonds would have made
online.
it.
That's his general. He's like Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore. Like he kicks dogs and is mad and mean to old women.
On social media he has been. I think
gotcha.
That stands out for some people. Okay. And he also defrauded the state of Rhode Island to start a
Brett Favre thing.
To start a video game company that he eventually had to pay money back, and I don't remember what all happened through that. But you're right too, Clay. Like Bonds, like this was an argument that people
prolonged
talk about
his career,
no
doubt.
Yeah. If you were to stop Bonds' career when he began taking steroids,
he was a Hall of Famer at that point,
which I think would have been 99 or 2000. He was dominant enough for 10 years. You can't say that about McGwire, about Sosa.
No,
you can about Clemens.
That's it.
Like Roger Clemens was like Bonds, where he had two halves of his career. One where there were no PEDs, and he was incredibly good, and then the second half where there were, and you're like, how is he doing this at age 40? And how is somebody hitting 73 home runs? They probably were Hall of Famers anyway.
Yeah. So I did the first interview with Sammy Sosa. First. So
he was a Tulsa Driller?
To Tulsa Drillers, Double-A. He played rookie ball. Nobody did any stories on him. He was 17 or 18. They brought him to Tulsa. Pudge Rodriguez was there too. And I'm the baseball writer for the Drillers, and they break camp and come to town, and they bring him up a little bit later. They had wanted to kind of get him through some stuff, teach him some of their minor league rules or whatever you call it, their system. So he came to town, and immediately the manager of the team is like, "Hey, we want you to interview him." I was like, "Why?" He said, "He's going to move right up. We want to start getting him exposed to the media. That's part of what he needs." So I said, "Okay, well, you're going to do it through an interpreter because he didn't speak any English." He goes, "No, he wants to do it himself." I mean, that's the kind of guy he was. He was incredibly engaging. So I sit down with him, and there was someone there that spoke Spanish. I had a little bit, and I was like, "Okay, Sammy, what's your strengths?" And his eyes got big, and he looked at me, and he says, "Sammy, run. Sammy, hit. Sammy, throw."
Home run.
He did all those things. He was a 5-tool guy.
But it's funny you bring that up, Phil and Clay, about Bonds. And when you watch that summer chasing Maris or whatever that 30 for 30 they did, and you see when they're playing Bonds, and Bonds is looking around like, I'm better than both these dudes. Like you could tell, you could kind of see it, and he was better than both those guys. Yeah.
Bonds was a true five. He wasn't a 5-tool guy because he didn't have a great throwing arm. It was accurate, but he could do everything else incredibly well. Yeah. I'm still a Bonds
and Palmeiro was the same deal. That we're just talking about guys that it extended their career and got them to some rarefied numbers, but they were great players.
Wasn't the Hall of Fame to tell the story of baseball, and that you can't tell the story of baseball without those guys? I mean, I don't know what the actual what is the job of the Hall of Fame?
That's the direction I've gone in quite often, Matt. But when we had, before you got on the show, a good friend of mine is the president of the Baseball Hall of Fame, a guy that I went to college with in Indiana, and we had him on the show. And he believes that too, but there are two parts of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. There's a Hall of Fame and there's a museum. Bonds is in the museum. So is Pete Rose.
Gotcha.
So is Palmeiro. So is McGuire. The history of baseball is told there.
Gotcha.
They're not in the Hall of Fame.
So is
They're
that enough?
separate.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, I see it. Well, integrity should play a part. I get it. I'm a character, and that should matter. So if it's not, I mean, that should be a thing. That's
you brought up Bell recently. You talk about integrity, like Albert Bell, whose name was Joey initially when he played at LSU, and he changed his name after. I know he had a real issue with alcoholism and was able to conquer that to the point, but he never conquered the idea that he was just a mean dude on the field. If you ever just go Google Albert Bell Fernando Vina, and you will see. You know about taking a guy out on a double play? Usually you take him out at the base, at second base, and you slide into him. And now you're not allowed to slide in unless you're sliding right into the base. Albert Bell took out Fernando Vina halfway down the baseline.
Like he was James Harrison.
Elbows up.
And with a
forearm
to the face.
That's
I
right.
remember
It's
that.
Yeah.
And
so, but if
and
you're
he,
going to
looked at
disqualify
Vina like,
somebody for meanness, Phil, you just say, well, he was too mean. Bob Gibson wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
That's true. Well, Gibson had the numbers,
That
though,
guy
and he
was
didn't
nasty.
have the injury that derailed it. Yeah, I mean, remember Bob Gibson, what did he, knock a guy out at the gas station after he said something mean to him 15 years ago or 10 years ago? He was in his 70s.
He still had it, yeah.
I think Bell probably could do the same thing. By the way, I mean, you got a couple of – there's only one former SEC baseball player that's in the Hall of Fame, and that's Frank Thomas from Auburn. That's it. You got two of them that are on this list here. Palmeiro, of course, from Mississippi State, and Albert Bell from LSU.
Will Clark went to where'd Will Clark go? Mississippi State.
Mississippi
He's
State.
not in the Hall of
Mississippi
Fame.
State. Not a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
Didn't have the. I don't think Clark's a Hall of Famer. I don't
You don't
think
think
he is.
so?
Nope. I think Palmeiro could
Will
be.
the
I don't
Thrill?
think Clark is. Nope. No,
Well,
but he was at the
that's
Arkansas
just-
Mississippi State game. They brought him down onto the field at halftime and showed him off to everybody. He still looks like he can hit a little bit. But Clark was also way
he had a
into
swing.
auto
That was
racing.
a sweet
He had a swing. Yeah.
He was into auto racing, too. Big auto racer. All right, we're off baseball for a moment. We're going to get into football recruiting with Danny West after the break. So stay with us into Arkansas football recruiting after a quick break on halftime.
Cause you're better with
listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
All aboard the Must Bus.
We've got to continue to get better every day and have a level head.
Steps back, 3 over. Kessler's good.
Everybody wants to compete. Everybody wants to play.
This is going to be a learning experience for a lot of our guys.
They are rushing the court at Bud Walton Arena.
We have a lot of talented players, so we know there's going to be a lot of people trying to prove that they're better than us individually and as a team.
You're not going to keep them off the floor tonight.
Follow the Hogs on the hardwood all season long.
Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kymco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Arts Barbecue and Burgers wants to help feed your family this holiday season. Have the pros at Arts smoke or deep fry your turkey or smoke your ham. Arts has affordable Thanksgiving packages available for any size family or crowd. Or drop your turkey or ham off and Arts will take it from there. Arts Barbecue and Burgers. Much more than their famous barbecue and burgers during the holiday season. From turkey to desserts, Arts Barbecue and Burgers. Next to Buddy's on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Let Arts help you with your Thanksgiving spread.
Why do people do business with First Western? Because First Western builds relationships with all of their customers. They partner for the long haul to help you with your financial goals over all seasons of life. First Western is prompt, responsive, and they deliver with quick answers and on-time loan closings. When is the last time your banker called you? If you are looking for a high level of service and a financial partner who will listen and respond, try First Western. For more information, visit them online at firstwestern.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood couple.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Think it's tough to hire a lawyer? Try being married to one. I'm Matt Mock, sports marketing consultant and husband at Mock Legal Solutions. When my wife came to me about opening her own firm right here in our hometown, we decided on 4 core values that as a client we both wanted in our lawyers: affordability, accessibility, convenience, and results. At Mock Legal Solutions, we pride ourselves on customer service, and we are grateful for all of our past, current, and future clients. Happy Thanksgiving from our family to yours. Call today for a free consultation, 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood couple.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
Something's wrong, 'cause my mind is fading. And everywhere I look, there's a dead end waiting. Temperatures dropping at the rotten oasis, stealing kisses from the leprous faces.
Welcome Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Danny West is with us here from hogsports.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, football recruiting extraordinaire. And we appreciate your time, Danny. Good to have you on Halftime again. How you doing?
Good to be back on with you. I'm doing well.
Danny.
Okay, Danny, I got a question right off the top.
Hey, Clay.
We got Clay with us, too.
Camp?
Say again, Clay?
Are you going to deer camp this weekend?
Yeah. At some point, I'll be able to sneak out, and I'm really looking forward to it. Planning on trying to hunt hard, man. Trying to hunt really hard this year. We've got a couple pretty good ones on camera, so we'll see what happens.
I know Danny, so I knew he can predict my movements. I can predict his.
That's right. Yeah, man, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully, I mean, you can never argue with too many commitments and, good recruiting news, but hopefully maybe they'll give me a few days this weekend.
Well, they got some good news on Sunday. I mean, it wasn't all a lost weekend for Arkansas football. Got a commitment from a defensive end, Kavion Henderson. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, 6'3", 235, out of Leeds, Alabama. And if I'm not mistaken, is that Charles Barkley's hometown? Maybe.
I'll look
Anyways,
I don't know.
Irrelevant, but yeah, 6'3", 235 out of Leeds. Man, they, as you mentioned there, they needed some good news on Sunday, and the timing of it may have seemed a little bit unusual, after a loss like that, to get such good news is a pretty good surprise. But Kavion is a guy that, they offered, I want to say January 23rd, following his visit here, his first trip to Fayetteville in January. They got him back a couple of months later. And basically, he committed at that point and kind of kept it quiet for several months. He came back again for at least one more visit that I'm aware of. So this is a case where, you got on him early, made him feel like a real priority for this year's class. And, it stuck with him. I think that really meant a lot to him, even after Alabama and Oklahoma came calling for him. Georgia was in there for him. He loved what he felt here at Arkansas. And, you got to give the entire staff a lot of credit for this, but I think Deke Adams did a really good job, as well as one of your current commitments in the 23 class, Dallas Young, who's also from Alabama. He kind of helped make sure Kavion was able to get to campus a few times, so that's always helpful too. But really a big pickup. I know a lot of people have been down over the weekend, and rightfully so. You ought to be after that one. But, yeah, that was a nice little a boost of morale, I guess you could call it, on Sunday afternoon.
What is
quick twitch guys? Quick twitch guys?
Yeah, he's a very quick edge rusher. You're going to like this guy, Clay, quite a bit. I would encourage you. I could send you his film, but I think you're really going to like this type. He's explosive, long arms, and mean. He's got a high motor type guy. So,
yeah.
He's a 4-star type, and I think that's justified based on film and production, but probably a guy who's going to have a chance to continue moving up in the rankings.
What is the word with some of the recruits? Have we had anybody decommit or anybody acting like that? I mean, it's got to be a bad taste in some of their mouths right now.
I'm sure, but so far, Matt, no decommits. I always tell people a loss like that, even a win, a big win. Kids don't let one game determine, where they're going to spend 3 or 4 years, and that should be the case. But, man, I'd be lying if I said that one's not going to catch up to them in some capacity. I mean, you can't lose a game like that. And, man, it's hard to recruit against some of these SEC teams. They'll use any amount of ammo that you put out there against you, and that one certainly, that one doesn't help you. I'll put it that way.
And then what about we got to get to 6? Talk about recruiting. If we don't get to 6, how bad does that hurt recruiting?
Man, I hate to even think of it right now.
I think we're going to get to 6, though, Danny. I think we're going to find a way to win one of these 3. But man, if we don't get a bowl game in, that hurts, man.
Yeah, from a perception standpoint, I think perception and momentum are really very real things when it comes to recruiting. I mean, kids pay attention to, maybe not necessarily every box score, but at the end of the year, if you're not one of those, seems like 100 teams that make a bowl game now, man, it sure is. It's a rough spot to be in nowadays because I mean everybody it seems like has positive momentum in the SEC, and you're trying to compete against these guys. And last year, I think you finished 13th in the conference in recruiting rankings. You needed this year to be a really good one, and they've dealt with some things. I'll give them that. A ton of injuries, a lot of bad luck, but at the same time, buddy, you got to win the ones you should have, and now mathematically you kind of put yourself in a spot here. So I'm with you, Matt. I think they will get one more, but I couldn't
don't know
sit
which
here and
one.
Circle it. I don't know which one yet.
I like the fact that we get LSU after Alabama. Talk about maybe some out of state recruits or any help in that defensive backfield.
Yeah, I like their cornerback class. I say that now. I could look like a fool if y'all ever play this back a year from now and some of these kids don't pan out, but I do. I like what they've done at corner in this year's class. You got Jalen Braxton, a 4-star out of Frisco, Texas, Lone Star High School. He's about 6 foot, 170, plenty of size there, but 4-star type guy, could have gone anywhere in the country. And then you've got a couple of highly rated 3-stars that I'm really high on. R.J. Johnson, kid out of Georgia, and there's one more there, Dallas Young, who I mentioned earlier, out of Gardendale, Alabama. He's almost a 4-star himself. So I like what they've done there. They've got a really good linebacker group, kind of underrated in my opinion. I would like to see a little bit more on the lines of scrimmage. Clay, we talk about that all the time, but I think there's still room for improvement there. They're making strides, as we talked about with Kavion. That ended a really long drought of Arkansas not having any 4-star defensive linemen since 2019. So he's your first one, and he won't be here for a long time still. You've got to hold on to him. So you'd still like to see some more on those two groups, but everything else, man, it's really a complete class. I like the tight ends, the receivers, running back, and I think they've got a fine quarterback in Malachi Singleton.
Bright spot Saturday was Quincy McAdoo, and
yeah.
the positions that these kids play in high school, and maybe I wonder what did you think watching McAdoo play cornerback and play it so well? I mean, he looked like a guy that had been playing cornerback almost all year long.
I was surprised, and the other thought I had was, well, let's see what some of these other young guys can do too. What else do we not know about? But it seems like a perfect fit. I mean, when you look at him, he looks like a big SEC corner out there, so why not? But to be honest with you, Phil, it surprised me that he could go out there as a true freshman first-timer and have the game that he did. I mean, he's going to get beat and did on Saturday, but that's to be expected. And in today's game, it's normal to get beat every now and then. But, man, I was tickled to death for Quincy. I mean, obviously you wish Arkansas could have came out on top, but he was the bright spot in my opinion.
He's a stud. I'm glad he's a Razorback. I think he's only going to get better. And, yeah, if there was a bright spot, that would have been his play. And I think if we had got that game to overtime, Danny, I think we had the momentum.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. Man, it kind of reminded you, down below, I was standing on the field before the game kicked off, about 45 minutes, and it just felt dead.
Yeah.
I looked across at Liberty sideline, and they couldn't wait for that game to kick off. They'd been waiting 2 weeks for it. On Arkansas,
they were waiting
side,
when schedule release day came out. They saw that Arkansas.
Right?
That was their game. Yeah.
Yeah, they had it circled, and rightfully so. Man, they got a pretty good team over there. But still, you got to win the ones you're supposed to. And Arkansas, despite all the slow starts and how ugly that first half was, probably still should have came back and won that game. And boy, they simply didn't get it done, Matt.
Any quarterbacks out there that are looking at Arkansas?
Yeah, they've got one for the current class, Malachi Singleton, that I mentioned earlier, 4-star type guy, a kid out of Kennesaw, Georgia, North Cobb High School. So that makes 2 years in a row. You've got a 4-star out of Kennesaw, North Cobb High School. That's a pretty good program to get your foot in. And then for next year's class, man, they've got probably a handful of guys, DJ Lagway, Michael Hawkins, a couple of 4- or 5-star types there, Walker White from right here within the state, down at Little Rock Christian. A lot of family ties to Arkansas. Been up here several times. Ole Miss could be tough there to beat for the in-state kid, but they're on the right ones. I mentioned 3 there that, I think all 3 of those would be realistic options at this point, and probably Michael Hawkins out of Allen, Texas. It might be an early favorite. I think it's way too early to start naming favorites, but 4-star kid out of Allen, Texas. Keep an eye on Michael Hawkins for the 24 class.
You got big, they only have 2 home games left, so I'm assuming there are going to be plenty of visitors that are coming up this weekend. 11 o'clock in the morning. I know Coach Pittman was talking about how that, they won a night game. They got a night game for Ole Miss, so they got a chance to spend more time with the kids. Does that change who visits this weekend, and maybe they get them to come for the Ole Miss weekend?
Well, they've actually got so far a better group, in my opinion, for this coming week somehow. So we mentioned Michael Hawkins there. He's going to be back this week. Devon Mitchell, a 2025 tight end, almost a 5-star guy, if I'm not mistaken at this point. But, Max Anderson, a 4-star offensive tackle out of Texas. Tylen Singleton out of Manny, Louisiana. He's a borderline 5-star. Really a good group coming in this weekend. And then, of course, for Ole Miss, they'll have several more as well. But, I'm pleasantly surprised by how this 11 o'clock game is shaping up for Arkansas. I thought it'd be a little bit tougher as well, but it seemed like a lot of these kids committed to it well before, the game time was announced. And, a lot of these kids say, hey, if we're buying plane tickets and putting money aside, we're going to make the trip regardless of kickoff time and just make it work. So that's working out for, the Razorbacks this weekend.
When Danny, when do you talk about the transfer portal, or are they looking? How does that work? Do they start looking around at kids that are going to transfer? And when can you talk about kids that might be transferring in that have played some college football?
Sure. Yeah, I think that December 5th date. Obviously, there's windows now throughout the year. May 1st through May 15th. You see a lot of kids now. They're going to be going into the portal, and then I want to say it's December 5th this year. They're calling it Portal Monday. Kind of everybody's going to be watching the portal on December 5th. So I think we're probably a little under a month away from things getting hot and heavy again for Arkansas transfer portal. But, defensive line, cornerbacks, really all DB spots in the back end there. I think you could see quite a bit of movement.
Danny, we'll leave it there. I appreciate you hopping on. It's always good talking recruiting with you or anything else.
Yeah, man.
Good luck with Deer Camp this weekend, and we'll get back at you sometime soon.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank y'all. We'll see you.
Danny West, 24/7 Sports, part of the probably Hog Sports, part of the 24/7 Sports Network.
He'll get a deer.
It's a guarantee?
Yep. I guarantee it.
Will you?
I don't deer hunt.
Well, you went elk hunting and you kind of missed out on
the
those.
Deer. They're definitely out and about. You can tell people are in the
cold
woods
this weekend.
Yeah,
primo. It should be perfect for the rut. I understand it. I just don't hunt them.
877-377-6963 to get with us. I don't even understand it, and I don't hunt them either. So I'm on the opposite end there. We're going to come back with more halftime. Callers on hold. Stay with us.
You're listening to Toyota Tuesday. Stop by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The Powerball jackpot from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery is now more than $1 billion. So, what would you do if you won?
I'd buy a baseball team.
Ooh, I would definitely buy my mom a Tesla so that she can drive cool, look cool.
If I won a jackpot, I'll start a cooking school for the youth in the city.
Got your ticket? If not, visit your local lottery retailer for your chance to win the Powerball jackpot of more than $1 billion. This is winning. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Christina Katsavis is running for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. And if you live in Fort Smith city limits, you can vote in the August 9th citywide Board of Directors election. Christina is a small business owner, wife, mother, volunteer, and community leader. All regular polling places will be open from 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday. A vote for Christina is a vote for your voice. Vote Christina Katsavis for Fort Smith City Director at Large, position 5. Ad paid for by Christina Katsavis campaign.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out at the web at artriallawyers.com.
Who's hungry, Fort Smith? Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. And this month, I'm serving up heaping helpings of deals on Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center. So right now, you could save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car, based on the price of the car you choose. It's our feast of savings, and these deals are all gravy, so if you're sick of your old ride, toss it like yesterday's leftovers. Come in today, and you can save up to $4,500. Keeping the car you have? Get it ready for winter in our Meineke Car Care Center with a free winter-ready inspection, half-off brakes, and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. So pull up a chair at my Feast of Savings, and you can save up to $4,500 on a nicer, newer car. But hurry, a deal this hot will cool down fast. Only in Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, City!
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I had a question for Danny West I forgot to ask him. I don't want to wait until the next time we have him on, so I'll just mention it. You guys know what it meant. I probably did too. I just not heard this one before. Danny had tweeted during Saturday's loss to Liberty that Liberty was beating the cornbread hell out of the Razorbacks. I'd never heard those two words put together, and I guess I kind of pictured cornbread hell as just a place that undercooks the cornbread.
That's a South Arkansas saying.
Cornbread. Yeah, maybe you had bad chili on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, chili's put me into hell a couple times. Cornbread did not.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies is Lewis Campbell. I know Matt knows that. But Lewis will be fishing, and I hear him muttering, like the fish is getting off, or he's breaking off, or his fly's coming untied, or his line's getting tangled, and I'll hear him muttering, and I'll get a little closer, and I finally figured out he was saying suck egg mule. He's like, I'm a suck egg mule. And I guess he doesn't cuss, but that's like the ultimate.
It's the closest he came to it, right?
Yeah, if you're a suck egg mule, you're in a bad place.
It's better than a toad suck mule.
That's the same kind of deal. Suck egg mule, I think that probably is exclusive to Hamburg.
Oh, man. I got JW on hold here. He knows what cornbread hell is. He knows what biscuit heaven is, too. What's up, JW? Mule. How are you?
And cornbread hell is like having good cornbread put in low-fat buttermilk. That's cornbread hell right there. If it's not the full power, you're just wasting time.
No low-fat buttermilk. If you can have buttermilk, it does not need to be low-fat.
The words
you gotta have the good stuff.
The words butter and low fat do not belong in the same sentence.
Yeah, no, that don't work.
It's the same thing. My wife gets light mayonnaise.
Right. Ugh. I don't like mayonnaise anyhow, but that light mayonnaise sounds awful. But but anyhow, I still got a different take on this whole loss last weekend that all the experts seem to have. You know, I've been fortunate to know a lot of offensive line coaches, and people look at them like they're just big dumb, clunks of whatever. You know, they got a playbook that's like the size of a telephone book when they used to have telephone books. These people are pretty smart. And like you said before, people are going to use every kind of ammo they can to recruit in the portal. And I think our man up there on the mountain is going to say, man, you can tell we need you. Come on down here. And he'll get some skill players because of that. That's just the nature of it. That's my take on it. But I got one more important question, really important question. Usually the opening day of murder and deer season in Arkansas, which is a national holiday in Arkansas, I like to be on the Little Red or someplace chasing brown trout. Well, I no longer, have the week free now, so I don't have to go on Saturday. So my question for Clay is, how is the spawn going? I like to catch the rainbows below the red more than I like to catch the brown. So I'm just curious, has it been staging yet?
It's not happening yet. They're moving, but I do not see any evidence of reds, and that's REDD. You know what that means? It's,
I know exactly what it means.
It's where they clean out a little spot in the gravel, and it's a little depression, and it changes the color of the bottom. It looks a little red-like, and I do not see evidence of a lot of those yet. So I would say not yet, but it could happen at any time, just like the rut.
I know, it's real iffy. Anyway, thank you all for your show, and I'll talk to you all later.
Thanks, JW. Murdering deer
That was
season,
highly technical information there.
Yeah, I had no idea what you were getting at. Do kids get the day off from school for the start of deer season here? I've kind of forgotten
some places,
about that.
There's some schools that only go 4 days now. Norfolk schools do not go on Fridays anymore. They haven't for several years.
Well, it's because they get out there because it usually starts on a Saturday, does it not?
The season starts on Saturday, but I'm saying they go year round. It's just 4 days a week.
They don't care. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so they'll but it's and it's going to be a cold front moving that.
It's. I mean, where else do you want to be? How do you think the attendance is at the game this week? I mean, I don't think
down.
I think it'll be way down.
And it's going to be cold. I mean, I think that's
30,000
for
fans.
Arkansas.
You think 30,000 fans? Yeah, it's a play. There'll be more than 30,000.
It'll be close to 60, but
it'll be noticeable though.
There'll be some people that aren't there, but their tickets get used. And I mean, there's still going to be families that come. Just there'll be one guy missing, or two guys missing from a group of 6 or 8. But I think that a cool morning favors Arkansas. Those guys from South Louisiana, they're not going to like it being 32 degrees when they come to warm up.
Clay, we need to work on your weather terminology a little bit. It's not going to be cool. It's going to be freaking freezing. It's going to be like 21 degrees overnight on Friday into Saturday.
You'll feel
it's going
like
to be freezing
mule,
cold,
right?
Yeah, I feel like a freezing egg mule. They can freeze their eggs. Yeah, 47-degree high Friday.
Had the windows open in the press box. Not good Saturday.
Yeah, well, the windows will be open in the press box. That's a guarantee. I don't think Chuck and Quinn do the game with the windows
No,
closed.
I'm talking about the main press box.
Oh, that one. They'll have that one closed for you guys?
I hope so.
Man, I wouldn't want to watch it indoors. I want to feel like I'm at a stadium. I hate watching the football games indoors. And the baseball games are even worse like that. So I'm going to put on long underwear, long sleeves, long socks, and I'll grow my hair out as long as I possibly can for Saturday to cover up my neck. Can I borrow some of your beard
Michelin
hair,
man? Yeah, dress like a Michelin man. Yeah.
Get you a scarf. Get you a scarf.
Little 2-scarf game. Is it a double scarf game? Like they say 2 chin strap game. Double scarf game.
You remember the last time Arkansas? Well, it wasn't the last time. It was two home games ago against LSU, 2018. That was a night game, 35 degrees in November. So maybe in this case we can be a little happier that it's a morning game, so we'll get just a little bit of sun and we won't literally freeze our asses off for the entire game, because that's what it's going to feel like. But hey, it's football season. Now we can just say, hey, it's football weather. It's football weather. What would you rather play in, Matt? 36 degrees or 92 degrees?
36 degrees over 92. All day, every day. 92, I don't want it. You got to – you're sweating, you're dehydrated. 36 degrees and you're in shape. You barely break a sweat. Like you can go you can play all day long. Now, if it's 11 degrees, I don't want it. You know what I mean? But different. But if it's above freezing like that, man, you can play all day.
I don't know anybody who puked because it was too cold outside. I know a lot of people who couldn't hold it in because it was too hot outside. I think we've all been there before, those who go running every once in a while. I'm convinced it's a lot easier to finish 5 miles in 36 degrees than it is in 90 degrees, no doubt.
You just might not run you probably run a faster time in 96 degrees. You probably set your PR there, but
it's different for the riders, right, Clay? Like the fingers don't quite move as well when you're trying to type and it's 36 degrees. Then it's better to write in 92.
Yeah, I'll never forget we were playing a game in Starkville, and it was just nasty in an open air press box in November. And I looked down, and Harry King, he had a full face mask on and toboggan, and he was all in a black coat. He looked like a ninja.
I've never pictured Harry King looking like a ninja.
No, he looked like a ninja. I took a picture and started sending it around. I identify who this guy is, and over people said, that's a ninja.
He probably had a samurai sword with him, too.
Full black face mask. Yep.
All right, we're running up against the break, and we're going to end things here on Halftime in just a bit. Brought to you by our friends at Washita Farms. You probably tried Lark sometime recently, and if you haven't, you need to give it a shot. Lark is a full-spectrum seltzer brought to you by Washita Farms. You can catch a buzz with no booze. There's no alcohol in Lark, but they do have the right balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD, and it tastes great without any sugar. It tastes amazing. 4 refreshing flavors for Lark are strawberry guava, mango, grapefruit, and berry. And no carbs, no calories, no alcohol, no sugar. Works great as a mixer. You can also drink it by itself. Lark's available at your local adult beverage store. You can have it shipped to your home by visiting larkhemp.com. You got to be 21 years of age or older. Easy enough for you to say, to consume Lark. And Halftime wraps up after this.
You know the preacher like the cold. He knows I'm gonna stay. California, such a winter's day.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Voted best of the best in the River Valley when it comes to new car dealership. Got my buddy Ray with me. And, Ray, if someone's looking for a Bronco Sport or a new truck or a new Expedition or a new Mustang, Randall Ford's a place to shop because we're not just going to show you pictures. We actually have them in stock.
We actually have them in stock. We're super excited about them. We want to show them to you, not only test drive them, touch, feel. You want to see why they're the best-selling vehicles on the market.
Randall Ford's been doing this for a little while, and being voted best of the best, there's a reason for that, Ray. Family-owned and operated, 114-plus years, same family. You don't stay in business if you're not doing something right, huh?
Exactly. We don't see it as a transaction. You're not a customer. You're our guest. We're going to take care of you.
Perfect. Just come by and ask for Ray?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Come by and see us. We're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Don't forget, you can always shop us online at randallford.com.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC is the River Valley's truck superstore. No one has a bigger selection of new and pre-owned trucks. If you need a regular cab work truck, Harry has them, and the biggest selection you'll find anywhere. Over 60 full-size pre-owned trucks are in stock now, and over 250 pre-owned vehicles are on the lot. And for the first time in 90 days, new trucks are on the ground. When the other dealers don't have it, Harry does. The area's truck superstore, Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend, Matt Jones.
Guys being dudes.
I hate you, Matty T. I hate you with utter white hot passion.
I was hoping you'd forgot about it by this point, and
well, I had
to remind you.
It wasn't stuck in my head any longer. I'd brought this song up in the first segment, and now here it is, almost 3 hours later. I'd forgotten about it, but now I don't. Thanks. Oh, man. You're getting me on this because I'm not doing the show on Friday. Look at Matt Jones over there. Shades on. Matt, by the way, that's not doing the butt. If you're going to do the butt, you got to, like, twerk or something like that.
I'm a white boy dancer.
He looks like...
I don't know how...
You don't have that booty, do you?
I don't have that Serena, that Pat Bradley. I do not. I've never. No.
Phil, you remember in The Breakfast Club when Anthony Michael Hall gets a little taste of something and puts the glasses on?
I do.
It kind of reminds me of Matt Jones.
And then he screams and the window breaks. Like,
Clay, they danced to this song at the basketball game last night in Pine Bluff. I mean, like, the fans, like, all of them were dancing to this. And it was stuck in my head on the drive back home. And then all morning, I made the mistake of mentioning it on the show. And now I'm going to be hearing this song until the end of time. You know this song? This, by the way, is a classic. This is from, like, 1986.
They didn't play
this
this
is
at
an
the
oldie
Central
now.
High reunion?
Yeah.
No, Central High reunion. It was a lot of Michael Jackson and Temptations and that kind of stuff.
I've never heard this song before.
American Pie.
This is
Yeah.
this
You're
song
never
is
gonna
called
forget it now.
Da Butt by E.
Two Live Crew.
I wonder how long they had to sit on that title before they were like, all right, let's go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a treat last night. It reminds me of covering high school basketball in Tulsa when Booker T. Washington and McLean would play, and I would always raise my hand to cover that game. And see the likes of Clint McDaniel and Wayman Tisdale and Lee Mayberry. I guess Lee didn't play in that game, but and they would have the drum lines going. It was electric and packed gyms. They would have a seat for the Tulsa World reporter by the score, just right by where you're sitting, Phil. And it was, it was a show. And the basketball was great too.
I could do basketball for another 20 years and probably not be in an atmosphere like that, because the fact of the matter is, it's like SEC teams don't go to play at HBCUs very often, if ever. I don't know any other SEC team that has traveled to an HBCU before. I know.
The Arkansas players liked it, right, Phil?
I think. They looked like they played well enough.
They got into it, yeah.
They looked annoyed at first because they were told the game's supposed to start at 6. Didn't tip off until 18 minutes after 6, and they had to go, wait through this elaborate introduction. But I talked with Sam Spencer after the game on the post game, Arkansas sophomore point guard, and she said I think she enjoyed it. I think she was cool.
I think they did too. Yeah,
because it's unique. It's unique. It was an experience, more than anything. It was just a lot of fun. And a win, and that was the cherry on the top. Yeah, a dub. That's exactly right. So hopefully you guys will be hearing that song for the rest of the day, because I know I will too. And now you know what an earworm is, Matt. Here it is. You probably thought it was. Do you remember the? Which was the Star Trek
Wrath of
movie?
Khan, Star Trek
Wrath
2.
of Khan. Yeah, that's an earworm.
I've already forgot it all. Do you know who the sexiest man alive is now? Just saw that.
Oh, there's way sexier guys in this guy.
Oh man, that wasn't supposed to come out until tomorrow. I was going to announce it on halftime.
I got lost. I lost in the eyes. I couldn't even listen to the song.
Who is it? The person who won the $2.1 billion Powerball?
What's the Scott Pilgrim versus the World? He's in that movie. Give you a hint.
No, I don't remember. Who is?
Oh,
it?
Chris Evans.
Yeah, the guy that used to be Captain America.
Fantastic Four.
Here it is. I thought money equaled sexy.
Chris Evans. Was Johnny Depp last year? Who was last year?
No, it was Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. Yeah. He's okay. Come on. They're all like 5'3".
Johnny Depp's not sexy. He's weird looking now.
Well, I didn't know. I was throwing a name out there. I tried to be cool.
All right. Hey, the Eastside Liquor podcast coming out soon, and Ruskin and Zach will take you from 2 until 7, and we're back with you tomorrow. So looking forward to that. For Clay Henry, for Matt Travis, for Matt Jones, I'm Phil. That's your halftime. Get up, get out, and get better.
I'm Steve Womack, candidate for